What's good, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody is doing well and okay. It is 10 to 10 p.m. here in the UK, and wherever you're watching from, I salute you. I show you lots of blessings and love. And I've been doing a lot of FIFA stream, but it's now time to talk about Manchester United. I've enjoyed the little wins that we've had. Not little, actually. I've enjoyed the really good wins that we've had. And I've been really calm this week. I've been really upbeat this week. But as some of you know, if you have watched that last video that I made, that half of me is, wanting to be that crazy Manchester United fan that I am. And the other half of me is like, nope, I've been here before and I know what the script is. And to get my mind right, to get my thinking right, I've got a guest who's come onto the show. I'm gonna bring him up in a second. 1 second. Estrella's gonna be joining us in a second, and he's going to help me kind of get myself back on track, because the thing is, family, you and I have both been here before. We've both been here, and we both know that it takes one goal, not even a game, one single goal, one punch to the chest, one punch, in the forehead, on the forehead, one punch on the throat, and we're khalas. One punch. Unfortunately, like myself, I can't take losses, as some of you know, so I restart on FIFA. But tomorrow, we won't be able to restart. There ain't no restart into tomorrow. So we will be there, man. Some jam-packed games on tomorrow as well, and some heavy eyes are gonna be on Manchester United tomorrow. Big up to Ronald in the stream, and big up to Estrella as well. Estrella, can you see the screen okay, brother?
Yeah, friends, all good. Sorry for the technicals.
All good, yeah. Big up to you. Welcome to the channel. For the people that don't know Estrella, me and Estrella have spoken a few times together on Saeed's channel on the Mandem Talk. and all the ETH talk as well on different shows. We both have very different views at times. We both have some similar views at times. And this is what I want. I want to talk to him, specifically him, to kind of get my mind on the right track, brother. So look, like I said, half of me is very excited about the game. Like I'm like, yeah, we're gonna score 2-3 goals. The way we've been scoring, the goals that we've been scoring have been really enjoyable against Southampton and Barnsley. With no disrespect to those two teams, where is your head at?
Again, I'm not going to get overexcited. Like you said, it's against lesser opponents. Southampton are probably favourites to go down. Barnsley, obviously, divisions below us. It's more about seeing probably the stuff that they're actually implementing in training in the actual game. Maybe necessarily, obviously, want to see it against better positions. But when you're primarily seeing this team that's been very poor for a long duration of time, they're finally starting to see this pattern of play or this concept of Ten Hag ball that we're finally wanting to see. Fair enough, it's against lower opponents, but at least this is the first time out of many managers where there's a stylistic time for football and the team's actually showing it. So the next challenge is now to go do against Crystal Palace and then so forth. So I'm not going to get overexcited, but yeah, that's my position anyway.
What did you make, 10 goals in 2 games? What did you make of it? What did you take from those 2 goals? Obviously, I've not spoken to you since those 2 games. So what did you take from it?
Once again, it's kind of difficult. Like you can only take what's in front of you because pause. Like that's the opponents we've been given. Southampton and Barnsley. Once again, they're lesser opposition. So you can say that if you wanted to be very, very like strict and look at what we actually done in those games. Personally, I don't think we played well. People can say, "Oh wow," like I'm talking crap or whatever. I personally don't think we played well. I think
against who? Sorry,
against Southampton and against Barnsley.
Wow. Okay.
I'll be totally honest. Like it can come across as hypocritical, but it's like again, we beat them 7-0. It's fair enough, but there were still parts in that game where Barnsley were able to like counter us, and I'm thinking it shouldn't be like this. Regardless of what anyone says, I know we've played other oppositions that are in lower leagues and we struggled before in the past, but
Estrella, sorry to interrupt you. It's a game of football, though. It's gonna happen, no?
I wouldn't ever envision that if that was City. I don't think that's happening to City. I don't think that would happen to Arsenal. I don't think that would happen to Liverpool.
But City just played a game, I think a week or so ago, where they were 1-0 down and they had to come back.
Yeah, but City can do that because they're a consistent, great team. But that's like a one-off. That's not something you kind of associate with City, if you get what I'm trying to say.
Okay, okay.
And the 7-0 that you associate with Man United against Barnsley, that's not something you associate with us, especially within many years. So it can be a one-off. Because I know for a fact, a lot of people that are Ten Hag out. Saturday comes now. If we lose against Crystal Palace, everyone's going to go revert back to say what they were saying before. So it's like, it's in the hands of the game. And that's why personally I said, I'm not against this manager and I'm not for him either. I'm just looking at the process. If we're trying to have faith in the structure that's been implemented, then surely they have football to see if he's not the one to lead us, then get rid of him. If he is, then we keep going.
Okay, so it's like, do you think even if he draws tomorrow, even if we come out with a draw, that's just as bad as a loss, isn't it? Really?
For me, yeah, it is because again, the league has improved sufficiently, so the lower teams are not as crap as everyone thinks they are. Going to Crystal Palace isn't easy, but again, we're United, and I know that term of like, oh, we're not the same United from old, but bro, Crystal Palace main objective of each season probably to stay in the league. It's only maybe last season now they got this new manager. Probably they want to start progressing, playing better football and adapt to what they've done last season. But they're still lower division. So the way I look at it, what I grew up is United going to these teams and dominating them. So a draw for me is not acceptable. But people will try and dance it up or kind of hide it just because they want this manager in. Like I said before, it shouldn't be that difficult. We've got players back. Everyone's confidence up all of a sudden. People's star boys is playing football, scoring goals. So I don't see what the issue is.
Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, look, I will disagree with you on the fact that we didn't play well against Barnsley and Southampton. The first thing is we definitely didn't play well the first 35-40 minutes of the Barnsley game, of the Southampton game. That's evident. Everybody knows that. But I think for me is we showed that resilience. You know, we didn't let our heads drop. As much as I'm so critical of the team and extremely against the manager, I think the way that we constructed the goals was just kind of re-energizing, isn't it? It was nice to see. We've not seen that kind of type of goals before, really and truly, you know.
Again, like you haven't seen it. I've seen goals like that before. Just haven't seen it in a long time, to be honest. If I'm
Sure.
being, and like again, you say playing well. The way I look at it is like people will call me crazy, but it's like let's be honest with these people. Rashford's been poor for 18 months. This is not like a witch hunt where I'm going to start ghosting out players. Luke Shaw's not available. There's lots of things that go like, unsaid and nobody wants to say anything. Like, oh, all of a sudden we're playing well because we bagged 2 goals against Southampton and Barnsley. Why are we not putting as much pressure on these players to be performing from the start, just like we're putting on the manager?
I understand. I think I understand. Rashford got 2 goals in 2 games.
I want to know from your opinion from them 2 games now. Just because Rashford's bagged now, do you think he should be starting Crystal Palace? Do you think he's done enough to start Crystal Palace?
That's a very good question, you know. That's a very good question. Does Rashford deserve? He's got 4 goal contributions in 2 games. Now that's numbers.
He's been poor for 18 months. And somebody that's been carrying his position, Garnacho, and has been informed this season so far, I think he should be starting. But we'll see what happens on Saturday. Like he won't squeeze him in. This is what I'm talking about. Little things.
Yeah, no, I hear it.
This is what I don't like. I don't really not focusing on management. These are more of the problems that I think it just needs to be spoken about.
No, that's a very fair point, and it's got me. You've almost like caught me there with the Rashford thing, because does 4 goals in 2 games consider him to be in the starting 11? If we are making our starting 11, we can all agree that we'd keep the back line as it is, you know, as simple as that. Including Onana, that's all fine. Nobody can probably argue with that because we don't really have a left back anyways. Martinez and De Ligt, plain and simple. In the midfield, I think it's very evident Bruno Fernandes is going to start and is going to play as the captain. So that's also solidified. I think Kobe Mino will start.
What does that mean? Because he's the captain, he means he starts.
I mean, no, it's just like he's obviously such a highly thought of player by the manager. He's highly thought of majority of the fans as well. He's got some good contribution in the last game against Barnsley. And he's kind of the pivotal player, isn't he, in our team? Even though I don't agree with it, I'm just going off what the realistic kind of approach is. I wouldn't start him. No, if you ask me directly, I wouldn't start him. I would rather start Eriksen because the football seems to be a little bit different and better when Eriksen is in the 10. Outside that, like Eriksen, Mino, Ugarte, I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with Ugarte, Casemiro, Mino. I'd be happy with that. But because of Bruno Fernandes is such a crucial player for this manager, he starts by default, isn't it?
Well, I disagree. Like with starting Eriksen against Crystal Palace, like I agree with benching Bruno if we had a sufficient replacement. The reason why I disagree with starting Eriksen Crystal Palace, if you watch their team evolve over the last 2 seasons now, they're more active physical team, and I feel those are the type of games where Eriksen becomes basically obsolete. It's like playing with 10 men. Like if they're good, it's not like playing against Southampton and Barnsley. Like Barnsley, with all due respect, they're going to be in your face, very physical, and they do have techie players as well. So I think most of the time, if we're not chasing the ball or trying to retain possession, they're going to be such a physical game. It's like Eriksen won't even be involved, and then you're going to then transition to the topic about Rashford playing up top if that's where he starts. And if Rashford's playing up top against Crystal Palace, I'm telling you this now, he's going to have a stinker. He's playing with his back to goal, he's rubbish. Yeah, we all know that. We already know that. And his hold-up play is going to be atrocious against them 2 large centre-backs. So he's going to be another obsolete option for us on Saturday if he starts up top.
So then you tell me what your starting 11 looks like that makes sense. I'm totally agreeing of Xerxes, for example. Xerxes, Ahmad, you know?
It just depends what methodology you want to go with going into the game. Like, are we trying to play a conservative game? Or are we trying to go straight down for the throat? Because for me personally, it'll be the same back four as Barnsley, midfield. You see this Ugarte thing. I haven't seen enough of him, respectfully, because I'm not one of these people that say
no, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
I haven't seen enough of him. I've watched clips of him. I've watched maybe 1 or 2 full games, but that's about it. He looked okay. He looked very doggish. My only two concerns is one, putting in there with Mainu, because it's one thing doing against Barnsley, but in a Premier League game against Crystal Palace, a physical team and very technical, I personally feel like, especially the way his game goes, you see how kind of Casemiro, they will say, oh, he never got a book playing in the Liga.
Yeah.
I honestly believe, I don't know if it's just United players that get it, but I feel like he's gonna be like taken out by one of these officials very quickly. And I think more people need to talk about this. The way he plays, especially with people like Eze, Mateta, these kind of like close control feet guys, the way he's going to be going and trying to win the ball back, retaining possession for us anyway, I think he's going to pick up a couple yellow cards. So I don't know if you want that type of pressure going into the game already. Maybe you start a Casemiro. But then again, if it's a physical game, I don't know if he has the legs to do it with just Mainu, because we've seen problems from the past. So really and truly, without waffling, I would say I would bench Mainu, Ugarte, Casemiro, Bruno, Garnacho, Ahmad, and Xerxes.
Why did you pick Bruno there?
Because I feel like with this manager, I'm thinking of this manager's ideology, innit? He wants to make a pivotal part like the Tom Brady or whatever, even though I prefer to get someone else. My thing is, I'd rather you do the damage further up top, because one, you're good with the press, two, you're the most creative player that we have in the team, and we then have the stability of when you want to go off, and we want to obviously play as a team, but there's some parts in the game that gets tricky. I know Bruno loses his head and he just starts running off, and that's when holes start to appear. If I have Ugarte and Casemiro, I feel a little bit more safe, especially with Mazwari in the team now. And obviously, Deloitte, I give it to him. He's stepped up. So I feel confident at the back. And I think that's an evenly balanced team, me personally. And obviously, if Casemiro's leg goes, after maybe like 60 minutes, you can bring in Mainu. Because my opinion is, I think Mainu is a very good player. I just don't personally think he should be starting every single game for United. I feel like when Phil Foden broke onto the scene, very talented player, you didn't see so much pressure of him having to start and carry teams. I feel like when you do that to young players, yeah, they look good. Yeah, they can play good games, but you're slowing down the development because they're not really playing a style of football. They're carrying other players. That's why most of the last games you've seen of Mainu, he's giving the ball away. He's looking more lethargic. He's not actually developing on what brought him into the team. He's having to do that and compensate for somebody else rather than coming into a full functioning like old machine, and he can just keep developing. For me, I'm not saying he's regressing, but I just don't personally think that he's making that next step. And I think that's why we're seeing it from Garnacho. He's been able to get more rest. He's not starting. He's been able to do that impact what he did originally off the bench, and that's what you're seeing. I think that's the difference between the two in it. So that's my take.
I think you make some very valid points, especially with the Kobe thing. One of the things that I wanted to highlight is obviously because we have such quality backline now, whoever plays in front of them by again default, we just less susceptible to be leaking goals because we've got De Ligt, Martinez, Mazarawi, and Dalot. Fantastic job all four of them can do. So I'm kind of like at peace with the defense, because last season we were just leaking goals everywhere, anyhow, gaps everywhere. Players can go through anyhow, and I don't think that's going to happen that easy anymore. So that's one thing that's very comfortable with. The midfield, I think Casemiro made some mistakes against Liverpool, but that doesn't mean that he's finished and he's done and his legs are gone and whatever. I think if you play the right kind of system with the right type of attitude and the right type of football, any player can look bad or great. That's all it is. The Ugarte thing, I don't think he's going to start as well, because he's played a lot of minutes, against Barnsley, but that doesn't mean that the manager thinks he's ready. I'm again trying to put myself in the manager's shoes and what he's thinking. I'm not going to be upset if he starts, for example, Bruno, Eriksen, Casemiro. I'm actually not going to be upset, because that three midfield worked in the first season. That three midfield was what helped us get third in the first season. I wouldn't be upset at all. That's one way of getting Kobe, rested as well.
But I've heard the saying, sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards, but
sure,
we all agreed after the first season, we only accepted it because of the conditions and the mitigating circumstances. Me personally, I don't want to ever see that again. I don't want to see that midfield ever again. I don't.
Okay.
Because you're asked, this is how we're leaking goals, because if I don't want to use the excuse because everyone's defending Casemiro for what he's previously done, I don't care for that. I care about now what you're currently doing. Like, if you're employed and you have a job, it doesn't matter if you made a company 20 grand maybe like 10 years ago. If your numbers are not numbering right now, your P45 is coming very quickly. So wake up and smell coffee, innit? That's the way I look at football. So it's like Casemiro in the team, Eriksen again, is like playing with 10 men if it comes to a physical squad. So it's like you're asking Casemiro to do lots of dog running by himself, and Eriksen can't really help him. He's worn himself out by 50th, 60th minute, and then he's making lethargic decisions. And that's when you're seeing the lethargical backwards passes, the stupid flicks, the stupid slide tackles because he doesn't have the legs to run all the way down the line with the player. That's why I wouldn't play Eriksen there. When you play Ugarte there, you add extra legs. So it takes another pressure away from his aspect of what he has to do. Then he has more time thinking of when Ugarte gets the ball, he's got the ball. He already knows what directional way he's going, what he wants to stipulate going forward, rather than have to run around covering gaps, get the ball, and then look up. You've got someone else doing most of it or half your job for that. So it helps us going forward, the transition.
So would it not make sense to bring on, for example, the likes of Ugarte and Eriksen in the second half?
Depends the way you want to start the game. So it's not. So the thing is, people just think of it like it's FIFA, or you start the best players, or you start your favorite players, or whatever. I don't think like that. It's the mindset of how you're going to go into the game. Are we? Because I don't think we've started. People can argue with me, but I don't think we've started a lot of games very good. We start very slow.
Sure, so that is true.
So if you know your players are going to start slow, then eventually, instead of playing the same crap squad and the same thing happens and happens again, why don't you compensate for it and taking two additional or put in new additional elements to try and change the solution? So like, if you know you start slow, why don't you put more control in defensive-minded players to maybe implement, to basically give you enough time so you can implement your style of play on the game?
I understand now where you're going,
You can compensate for the opposition's whatever they're going to put for you for the first, let's say, 15, 20 minutes, rather than you put another squad in like Casemiro and Eriksen, where you want to implement your style of football, but because they've been on you like a rash from the straight into physical game, these players can't keep up with the demand. Rather, if you start these two, you have more time to make further decisions, which can help you win the game later on. That's the way I'm looking at it. So if you want to do that, Ugarte and Casemiro is a viable option. Everyone's going to argue and say, "Oh, I'm crazy for not starting Manu." Like I said, I'm not like. This is what United players use. This is what United fans. I feel like they're very young. You need to understand, like David Beckham, Phil Neville, like some of these young generational talents that have come through our club. Even Ronaldo, when he first came, you don't start every single game. You don't come into a deplete squad with no style of football and expect it to carry on. What are you doing? How are you saying, Nuruddin? I have the uncle. Uncle Nuruddin. He's saying, you're on mute.
Yeah, big up, people. Big up, man. Big up. Yeah. How are we doing?
I'm saying you don't.
Sorry, Estrella, finish your point. Yeah, go on, bro.
I'm gonna say you like. We're the only club other than Arsenal, and I'm not gonna try and talk about other clubs, but I feel like when you see a youth player with a little bit of talent get a little whiff, you put so much pressure on them to be this thing and to carry the squad. As soon as they come into this team, they've got so much of an onus to have to prove something every single time they step up on that white line or on that white line or whatever. When it comes to teams like City or other big teams like Barcelona, them young players get bedded. They get shown time. Garnacho has a stinker. All of a sudden, he's the worst player in the world. Manu has a bad game. All the hype, he's overrated. But really and truly, they have to be slowly integrated into this squad for them to help us in the future, rather than just starting them each game, because right now they provide you a better solution than other current players, in your opinion.
Okay. Nurdin, big up to you, bro. Big up to you. We're discussing the midfield selection, and Estrella says he'd be happy with starting a little bit more defensive with Palace because we've struggled to control games early on. After his point, actually, I think I understand a bit more where he's coming from, and I actually somewhat agree as well. It would make sense. It all depends how you want to start the game. That's his point, and it's a very fair point that if you start defensively with the likes of Casemiro, Ugarte, and Bruno, for example, you would do a lot better than starting Eriksen, Casemiro, and Bruno, or Mino, Casemiro, and Bruno, because you just have a bit more legs in the midfield and a bit more control in the midfield, especially with Palace playing at home. They've not started the season really well, right? I think they've they can definitely do a lot better with the team that they have and everything as such. And Manchester United are the type of team we like to be made an example of. That's what it is with Manchester United. And Palace will definitely look for that, because we've scored 10 goals in 2 games, and we might think, or the players might think, a lot of confidence. But as soon as they try and impose themselves on a team like Palace, you know, they're built on Palace, and those mid-table teams are built on resilience. They're built on soaking up tough moments in their stadium, because they're not a top 6 team. Let's be deadly honest. We go there and try and play with our best 11, like someone said in the comment, we might get picked apart. And it is actually, funnily enough, Casemiro and Ugarte, if anyone, it's them two most susceptible to giving away silly free kicks, early set pieces that can, you know, Palace can counter on and create chances and create goals. And, you know, with Manchester United, the opposition team don't actually have to score for our heads to go down with the team. So I'm very, very concerned about that. Where is your head now with this team? Because, like I said before, half of my body is like, I want to get really giddy Army FC, but then half of me, 10 goals is no joke, man. You know, Nurdin, 10 goals is not
League
a joke
One.
in 2 games.
Are you taking the biscuit? League One.
It's not a joke, bro. Premier League teams collect 7 as well. You know, I'm not going to disrespect Southampton and Barnsley. I'm not. Spurs had tough games against QPR. I'm not going to disrespect 10 goals, and the way we created the goals are really good goals. Bayern just scored 9 goals, for example. Yeah, how many of their goals were penalties? We scored so many goals from open play. Open play. Let me, you know.
Nurdin, you're doing that, yeah, but don't forget Notts County. Was it Notts County last season or like 2 seasons ago where we struggled to beat them? I think it was that. We came back like 3-1 or something like that.
Vance, you were in the stadium. I'm not going to lie to you. I would fancy your team would have done better defensively against Manchester United than Barnsley did on the night. You were in the stadium. I was there as well. Like, we saw the defense. Come on, man. Look at the goals. Come on, people. Seriously.
It is true. It is true.
Who fell apart after we went 2-0
yeah,
down.
but Nurdin, our finishing was good. Our passing was good in the final third. Our creation control was good.
That means nothing, Vaz. It means absolutely nothing. Absolutely means zilch. You fear Crystal Palace. You'll get a slap, and you know what? You'll wake up and forget the 7. Trust me on this one. For me, tomorrow, I'm not starting Bruno. Headless chicken, mate. And in this game, I don't want
but against Southampton, he didn't run around like headless chicken.
Nah, man, he did. In that first half, first 30 minutes, he was. He was.
Okay, okay.
In the first 30 minutes, we were nowhere. We were nowhere.
So who's starting instead?
Eriksen.
And?
So,
Ugarte, Casemiro, Eriksen.
Wow. There ain't no legs in there. We might as well play in wheelchair football.
No, it's not. It's not. You're talking about control, right? What you two are talking about is about control, right? Who will give us more control, Bruno or Eriksen, in a game?
No. Nurdin, I already agreed because we spoke about this before you actually came on. The reason why I said I'd start Bruno instead of Eriksen is not just the control. Like, I agree. If you want retention of the ball, Eriksen's your guy. But then you have to compensate.
Keep the ball away from them tomorrow.
Me personally, I see the way Crystal Palace play. They like to keep the ball as well themselves, and they're a physical chase inside.
Let me say something to you, right? Ugarte is a risk because Ugarte is a risk that the biggest player that is a risk tomorrow is Ugarte. Me and you were in that stadium. I don't know if you were there, Mr. Did you go to the game?
No, I didn't go to them. No.
Okay, so me and Vaz were in the stadium. In the first half, actually, he committed 5 fouls. Now, a player coming from abroad, it takes them a couple of games to really assess that every country has a different refereeing culture. So let me say that again for the people at the back. Every league in Europe or in the world has its own unique refereeing culture. What do I mean by refereeing culture? There are things that you could never get away with in the UK, but you get away with it in France. There are things that you can never get away with it in France, right, as a player, but you could get away with it in the UK, right, in England, in the Premier League. So at the end of the day, I thought that the referee on Tuesday night was quite lax. He let it go. He let it go. He let the game flow in. He didn't dash out the yellow card. Now, what have we noticed this season already from the Premier League referees. What have you noticed from them? They're dashing out yellow cards like it's gone out of business. Seriously. Like they're just doing this. So for me, it's a risk. Ugarte is a risk unless if this manager and this coaching staff and this football club and these are the players who play in the Premier League have not had words with him and said to him, tomorrow, stay on your feet, try to net the ball, don't concede yellow. The Premier League referees are yellow card happy. Don't fall for that. What you said before, Vaz, is true. Both him and Casemiro like to give away a free kick. What you said before. So, but for me, in terms of the game, what type of level of control I'm having? After that first half an hour, the player that composed Manchester United wasn't just Xerxes dropping into the hole. It was Eriksen. Eriksen and, first of all, before the half an hour, we were playing this 3-1-6 bullshit. And it was Kobe was getting on the ball and he was eating grass. Kobe is fatigued. Number one, he's fatigued emotionally, physically, and like body-wise. Go and watch the Southampton game again. How many times when a player loses their balance in a game 3 or 4 times, that tells me there's a level of fatigue in that player. Because balance in football is one of the most, and the better players actually have the better balance. Facts. Go and look it up. That's why certain footballers would try to know about ballet and stuff like that. Like do other sports that gives you more balance or do exercises that to balance. Kobe Mainoo is fatigued, right? And the reason why he didn't get a minute the other night, because somebody in that coaching staff can realize that he's fatigued, right? So that's why he didn't play, right? So to me, I would not even start him tomorrow, me personally. I will not start him. But if you look at that game, watch the half an hour before, right? The half an hour before the penalty, and then look at the rest of the game after that half an hour. They're like this. The first half, Eriksen's there, Kobe's there. They're far away from each other. As soon as that penalty gets saved, they're like that. Why? My friend of mine was in a game. He said because the penalty was taking ages. Ten Hag called the players over, specifically spoke to Kobe and Eriksen, and was doing this. Even though he sent them out to be this. After that first half an hour, he realized what the fuck is going on. He's telling them to be this. Right? So for me, Eriksen plays, and I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know about how you felt, Fast, but when I walked into that stadium and I looked at the team sheet just before I got into found my seat, right? I looked, and I thought, every time when Bruno's not playing, I feel relaxed. You know why? Because I can't have, there's not so much I can watch. I don't give 2 Fs about XG or any of these little fever generation BS US stat merchant business. I give an F about what I see. Football is about positioning. Football is about space and a positioning. That's what football is about. And football in another 100 years will always be about positioning space. Space, because in football, as an attacking team, you try to create more space. But as a defending team, you try to constrict the space. You try to tighten the spaces and the distances between players so that people can't play through you. Positions, you need to have players in positions. What would it be like? You see kids at the age of 4. If you ever get 20 kids at the age of 4, what they all doing? They all chasing. You give them big ball, they're all chasing the same ball. None of them have a clue about positioning in football, right? Bruno still plays like he's a fucking 4-year-old. Excuse my language. I'm not.
So you would rather start Eriksen in there, but
somebody
the thing
who's
is,
positionally disciplined, and I need somebody who's technically secure on the ball. I need people who are technically secure on the ball.
You're inviting it. Nuruddin, you're inviting
No, I'm not inviting it.
your
No, I'm
position.
not inviting it because what I'm going to say to you, Estrella, I'm building on Manchester United keeping the ball because the fullbacks are going to invert. Mazraoui, Diego Dalot are going to invert. So they give hand the 2 midfield players, Casemiro and Ugarte. They're going to give options when Manchester United are building up. If we build up with a 2. Now, If you don't just build up with the one, Bruno might play because positionally they're going to work it out. Wharton's going to work it out. I don't know who's playing. It's the guy, Jefferson Lamo will play tomorrow. The Corey is injured, isn't it? The Corey is out for them. Just Jefferson Lamo will play tomorrow, right? Or Will Hughes will play tomorrow. If they get brave, they'll try to play Hughes. I think that would be too open. They'll play Wharton because they need the points. So at the end of the day, if we're playing this 3-1-6, then yeah, play Bruno. If Manchester United want to control and play with two in the build-up, right? Then to me, Eriksen is the most ball-secure player. And actually, his contribution, and you see the amount of one touches securing the ball, having Xerxes securing the ball, having Eriksen securing the ball, having Ahmad securing the ball. The more secure ball players that you have in your team, the more control you have over football. It's simple.
No, the reason, again, I'll disagree with you about starting Christian Eriksen is I've just gone through Crystal Palace's team, yeah. Just to name a few. They got Dean Henderson in goal. That's an extra incentive, obviously, playing against his old club. They've got Max, what's his name? Maxine from the Bundesliga. Pretty good centre-back with Guehi, Nathan Talibar, Eddie Nketiah, Ismail Assar, Eze. I don't personally, like I said, I think there's going to be a physical, fast-paced game. I don't see the need of start. The reason why I don't start Eriksen is I don't know when United have dominated opposition, like good opposition. Southampton and Barnsley, respectfully, are not good. Not even respectfully, they're crap. Yeah. When we've come up against relatively a decent squad and we've tried to play football, what normally happens? We lose the ball, make a mistake or something, and then we go goal down and everyone's head goes down and we start playing crap football. If you want to go from the start and you want to make a positive impact from the first 15, 20 minutes and you want it to be evenly balanced, I think you can afford to put Bruno in the squad. I think he's going to start Rashford, so probably Rashford on the left, maybe Xerxes down the middle and Ahmad on the right. I think when we do have the ball, if we're defensively sound with Ugarte and Casemiro, I understand what you're saying about the yellow cards, but I think when there's both of them, I think like everyone just thinks that Casemiro, like he's just gone because of all these yellow cards and all the silly mistakes he's making. I think when the pressure of the physical battle in midfield is alleviated from him, then you will start to see more experience come out. So necessarily him communicating with Ugarte, and especially being South American, I think that helps. And also he's already been called out with these officials. So I think him communicating and talking to Ugarte can coach him through the game. And then obviously on the turnover, we've got Bruno. He's our fast release, our pause in terms of getting into the final third rather than Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen's more of a tiki-taka, wants to play through the lines a bit more slow. Whereas this game, I don't think it's going to be that type of game. I think it's going to be back and forth. And I think if you start Bruno, you want to start the players you think are going to give you the best opportunity within the first phase of the match to give you the best outcome. I'm starting Bruno. Because you can't give me a better option to him or better alternative. If we had one, I would say, yeah, go ahead, but we don't. And I would say the only alternative that is similarly as good as Christian Eriksen that has legs is Mason Mount, but I can't trust him. So, and he's just come up from injury. So I don't think I would start him in this game.
We're just going to have to agree to disagree. For me personally, Manchester United need control tomorrow. Eriksen plays, Bruno positionally in discipline. And even on the press, he's a headless chicken. He does this. And then, you know, the thing about when we concede, he even goes there. And he starts pretending that he's the left back, right back, centre back. He's everywhere. To me, I can't have players who are positionally in discipline if I want control. And if you look at the path that Manchester United have taken this season, they want to have more control. Like Southampton, after the first half an hour, we dominated the game because Eriksen was on the football. Eriksen was playing in midfield with Kobe Mainoo. Both of them sorted out themselves positionally. And I'm sorry to say, genuinely, what else did Bruno do other than just put a ball in a floater into the box? That wasn't what did he do in that 90 minutes?
If you want to do that, I can say the same thing about Rashford last two games. Gary scored goals, but what else has he done outside of them goals? And
no. Listen, first of all, League One fodder is not in my vocabulary, right?
Come on, Nuruddin.
I'm not. Come on now. Seriously, guys, you cannot be serious. You genuinely cannot be serious about League One. Like, that's 2 divisions away. Majority of those players were thinking, shit, who am I going to swap the shirt with when they were facing them up in the tunnel? Let's not even talk about this, man. Seriously. But in terms of Southampton, for me, Rashford, go and check out his defensive actions. Go and look it up. Don't believe me. Go and look up his defensive actuals, his duels, right?
Yeah.
Go and look up in terms of, like, he looked a bit more freer where he was taking pot shots, and he wasn't just in that goal that he scored.
Against who, Nuruddin? Nuruddin, against who?
Against Southampton.
Cool. And this is why I'm interrupting. Yeah, the same way you're disregarding Barnsley, I'm disregarding Southampton. Let me tell you why. I was at the start of the season at Fulham. Yeah, he was poor.
No, I'm not talking. I'm just talking about Southampton. I'm not talking about any other game. I'm just talking about Southampton.
I know. You can't justify. You can't justify one game or one performance to say that that's why you're going to play him.
No. Listen, it's not about. What I'm just saying to you, Bruno, for me, did fuck all of the zilt in a football game other than putting a floater. He was even non-existent. The amount of times you heard Xerxes, Ahmad, Rashford, they were more involved in the game as an attacking unit than Bruno, who's supposed to be our number fucking 10. So I don't know what people are talking about.
I'm combating your point by saying it's cool you can say that in one game, and I'm telling you in another game, Rashford was the exact same thing. Other than two crosses, he was dead and still started the next game.
Rashford has been sulking. Mr. Estrella, Rashford has been sulking from last season till the beginning of the season. Yeah, he's been sulking. This game was the only game that we actually saw a different Rashford. So by going through the other games, we already saw that from last season. We already saw that. We already see that Rashford. Let me just finish. Look, we already saw that Rashford from when the first season. He scored, I think, in a space of 6 months or whatever, he banged in goals. Yeah, he went to the World Cup, came back, banged in goals, and then his whole body language was like dry till the end of that season. The new season started. He is just a person who's just got played, and the reason why he kept played because the manager came out and talked about a lot of it. He talked about seniority, players being played into form, and all of this. The point what I'm saying to you is that if you looked at Marcus Rashford against Southampton, his body language, his stats on running, the stats of like defensively, all those different things was different. That's looked like his first game of the season. But go ahead.
What your Faz?
I think he was talking to you because you wanted to make a point.
Yeah, I'm saying my point is I understand and I'm not in disagreement with you about Rashford or Eriksen or what we're talking about now. My thing is this: like, if you want to give that notion and say, "Oh, Bruno was woeful, didn't do anything, didn't provide anything," I'm like, cool, that's fine. Rashford's been doing that for 18 months, and he's still been able to start the game after, like, no question. Bruno has more money in the bank for me than Rashford actually does, and it's like, when is everyone going to actually wake up and smell coffee? If this guy was not born in Manchester, I don't think people would be talking like this. The guy's on 350, 375 bags a week, yeah? And you've had 2 good seasons in 8 years. Oh, he's better on the left. I want to play on the right. I want to play down the middle. I want to play on the left. And then everyone wants to make excuses about Sancho waking up late, Pogba dancing, or Martial's poor attitude. This Don's supposed to be Mancunian, born and bred. He's going out to nightclubs. Not just once, but he got caught twice. Three indiscretions in one season, and everyone's washed it under the carpet. Then everyone's going, "Oh, let's play him back into form." I'm starting to dislike all of this animosity to just Bruno and certain other players. If you're gonna have animosity to Bruno, I want same energy to everyone else in the squad. Get angry at Luke Shaw. Why you going to the Euros, bro? You are the ones paying your wages. You go into the Euros, come back, no left back at the start of the season. If that was Pogba, I guarantee you, Graham Souness is gonna have 10 talk craps a day segments of talking about Pogba. Why is no one talking about Luke Shaw? Maguire, why is he still here? I want to fight for my place. You're talking crap. You're staying here because you want to leave in the summer for free and get your signing on fee for free. But no one's saying that. When Martial was here, they were saying he was greedy. Look at the difference. This is what I'm saying. If you're going to have energy for one player, have it through the squad. I'm tired of this individualism. Like everyone as a collective, if this is the team moving forward, I don't need these little constituencies. Everyone wants to move forward. If you think Bruno's useless or whatever, that's fine. But let's talk through the rest of the squad as well. That means Rashford shouldn't be starting by that justification. That means a few other players in this squad shouldn't be starting by that justification. Everyone's star boy mainly shouldn't be starting because he's been playing poor recently. And you said because he's fatigued. And this is what I said at the end of last season on Saeed's stream. This guy is a talented player, yes. But you have to integrate him slowly because this is what will happen. You're putting more pressure on the kid. He's not developing. He's getting fatigued. The media get onto him. And all of a sudden, it's gone from mainly star boy to, Trashford or he's crap. This is what I'm saying. It's not sustainable. If you're going to have a structure, then start implementing it and let's not go against it. That's just my take on it.
The thing is, whether however we look at it, I think the first thing that's going to happen is, by default, we know the players that are going to start. And this is one of our biggest issue. We can sit here and disagree and agree on the starting lineup and who we would pick. But I've gone past that at this point to both of you and the chat as well. Where I am is I know he is going to start Bruno Fernandes. I want to see him instruct Bruno to not outrun the striker. Don't. It's as simple as that. I'm actually not even asking for much. I'm asking them not to get Dalot or Mazraoui so high up on the pitch that when they're running back, they're getting cooked. Because you just saw that blatantly, right? Whether we beat Southampton or not, Dalot was absolutely exposed for his weaknesses. And it doesn't matter if he plays on the left or the right. He will get cooked either way. That's just a factual thing. And that's not because Dalot's a poor defender, because he's a good enough defender, but because of look at where he's getting cooked. He's getting cooked out of his position. He's not getting cooked when he's a right back solid or a left back solid. He's getting cooked when he's in like a wing back position. He's getting turned, he's getting ran past 1-2 off players and they're through, and then massive holes. The way the manager instructs the players to play, it's very, very physically demanding. It is not easy to play 90 minutes for a fullback, up and down like crazy. It is crazy demand, crazy. And then to think to put good balls in as well. It is physically really draining. By 60th minute, 70th minute, they're cooked. And that kid in Southampton absolutely toyed with Dalot. If they had half a bit more finishing, one of the free kicks that was a header, it goes in, and obviously the penalty as well. But that's their job to do. But we got cooked. That's the fact. We got exposed in that sense. They specifically targeted Dalot as well, and you could see it. Now against Palace with Eze playing, Mateta playing, I don't know who they're gonna play on the other side. Opposite.
Nketiah.
Right. So now you think to yourself, Nketiah and Mateta are going to link up together. How are we going to hold down the right-hand side? I don't want Manchester United tomorrow to actually take the game to them. Like I say this a lot on my channel. I say there are certain games, right? You grab a goal and you lock it up just to kind of, now is the time to steady the ship. I don't think now is the time to go and score 3 goals against Palace. We'll get caught out if we try and do that. We will get really caught. Get a goal. If you can get a 2, call it a day. Lock it up. Go on, Nuruddin.
So first of all, big up Estrella. Listen, I hope majority of what you were saying wasn't pointed at me. I'm nearly going into fist fights about Luke Shaw and the hypocrisy because Luke Shaw is white. The way they treat Martial. Rashford, for me, I feel sorry for, not because he's local, because I said it 6 years ago, that him and Martial don't get developmental plans, they're not gonna go and fulfill their potential. And I was right. And the biggest thing was this fucking football club employed Jose Mourinho, who does not do any developmental on players, individual, especially younger players. He wanted to buy more experienced players, and that is what he wanted. And he's the wrong guy. You should have got rid of them. Pogba, Martial, Rashford. All 3 of them should have been gone. Soon as Jose walked in through that door, but this club is this club. You never have to tell me. I hope you were talking to majority is the sheep, yeah? It's the sheep that you were talking to, because it's majority, a lot of United fans, half of the fan base are like, meh, believe in everything the club says. I am on record. Soon as the XG bullshit dried up, I looked at Bruno's game, right, with keen eyes and looked at it season after season, game after game, and said, this guy is a detriment to how Manchester United want to play football. He is not the guy that you want to control football games with, right? So, and I said at the beginning of the season, I'm on my channel, on Saeed TV, or even on here as well, Bas, I'm sure I must have said, get rid of Rashford and Bruno. I've said that. For last season, yeah, Bruno and Rashford should be done out here. The point I want to make to you is that one of them is a fucking captain, and one of them has been recently being subbed in certain games. He's been getting taken off. And for me, that is a way of this manager. But I don't trust this manager, don't I? So tomorrow, when you're asking me, right, we've got a guy who's ball retention, and that's what specifically I've said that, secure on the ball, technically secure on the ball. It's what I'm trying to have in this game, right? There are loads of players that, if he's up to me, Estrella, are you kidding me? Are you? Half of these men will not even be there. I'll be erasing them. I'll be going in everywhere. I'll be paying millions on TV channels to scrub them out of history. That's how extreme I'll be going. Forget getting rid of them, right? But I'm talking about specifically tomorrow. Knowing that it's under the lights, it's at Crystal Palace, one of the most, compact pitches in the Premier League, one of the most hostile atmospheres in the Premier League, under the lights at night, right? 5:36, by that time it'll be dark, right? I'm looking for players who are technically secure on the ball. I want as many players on that pitch as who are comfortable with the football and who, when a player has got the ball, can give somebody an option for them to get to, right? So it's either Bruno or Rashford, which to me, if it's up to me, both of them. But I'm sorry, at this moment in time, Garnacho is just, when he starts games, if you notice when he starts games, and not against League One for that, when he actually starts games, he looks lost, right? He looks lost, right? When he comes on in games, he's actually better off the bench. I would always have, in a game like tomorrow, Garnacho coming on for the last 25 minutes. If we're losing, if we're drawing, try to get that goal. I won't start him tomorrow because, to me, like I said to you, I'd rather start Rashford, who has more experience, right? And I will give him that defensive responsibility to go, you know what?
But Nurdin, I'm sorry. You say that you would rather have so many players good on the ball, technically good on the ball, and all of these things. Palace drew with Chelsea whilst they were away from home.
Now, listen, I'm not gonna lie.
And Chelsea have good players there that are really good on the ball. Individual players that are really good on the ball.
Let me just say something. You're talking about a season one or first couple of months of a manager in a new club. You're going to get topsy-turvy kind of results. At the end of the day, Erik ten Hag is year 3. We've already, all of us have said there's zero excuses anymore. Football structure's there. Everything's there. Other than the left-back positions, he's got 2 players in every position. Facts. So for me...
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't.
That's not facts. That's not facts. That's not facts. I don't know. Wait, Nerida, one of two things really quickly. One, I think you're telling me he hasn't got...
Okay, so if Luke Shaw and Malacia come back, let me finish. No, let me just finish this, please. Let me just finish this, please. Right? If Luke Shaw and Malacia don't come back, Diego Dalot and Masraoui on the right. This is what we have right now. Harry Maguire, Dele, Evans, Martinez. In midfield, you want to move to there? Ugarte, Casemiro. How many midfields we got? Eriksen, Mount, Bruno. He plays everywhere. He's more than me in terms of midfield.
Yeah, but you don't have 2 left backs.
No, but the point. That's what I said. I said, except at this moment in time, other than the left backs, I don't know if you heard me right, Faz. I said every other position, there's 2 players.
All right, okay.
That's what I said. That's the point I
Okay.
made.
Okay.
Can I say my position now, please? One of two things. I think you're going into the Crystal Palace game or to Selhurst Park under false pretenses. I think you're going in there into thinking that we're going to have retention of the ball. Like, me personally, this is why I say I'm not starting Eriksen. I don't expect to go to... I'm not letting these false dawns of Southampton and Barnsley fool anybody into thinking that means we're going to justify us to go into someone else's away ground who are relatively decent in the Premier League and we're going to implement our style of football. I'm not doing that. I'm counteracting the fact that that doesn't normally happen. So that's why I said I'm starting two defensive mind players and then obviously balancing the squad in terms of starting Bruno for the not necessarily just the counter, but for the overload and the transition. It's a more quick turnover rather than having Eriksen there. If you're playing Eriksen, you're expecting to have more of the ball. I don't expect by divine right we're going to have more of the ball by Crystal Palace. And it's actually bad me saying that. My second point is for you to say Erik ten Hag now has got everything, so there's no excuses season 3. I think it's very disingenuous. Like to compare it, it's like being in the F1 race. Yeah, we were winning the race. 4 of our tires burst. Everyone else got their tires and got changed within the 10 seconds. And it took us 3 whole minutes to get them tires back on. Now, because we got them tires back on, everyone's now saying, go win. Even though everyone's had the head start. You can't, this is what I mean. You can't have your cake and eat it. If you're going to talk about this manager and say, oh, he's poor man management, his in-game management is not the best, he's not very charismatic when it comes to the camera, I will agree with you. But don't tell me he hasn't had a hand behind his back the whole time. You didn't get him all these players this season with a full pre-season when we wanted. Again, like last season, we're getting players late during the window, Saga being dragged. Secondly, we have no left backs. And when they do come back, you're acting like they're going to be fully fit. I expect them to get injured again. Manassi hasn't played football in 18 months. You don't think when he comes back, he's going to get injured again relatively quick. And you can't depend on Shaw.
And you don't really know about Martinez as well right now, by the way.
Okay, listen, I think you misheard me, right? This manager has got fucking zero excuse because of all of last season. He was telling me injuries, right? So in this game, he has zero excuse. I know about this manager. This manager will not be a Manchester United, but he was there because of one game. And I always say, never sign a player of one game, never sack a coach of one game. Don't hire a manager of one game. Hire it because of the data shows you over a long period of time.
Yeah.
This man, and I'm sorry, Estrella, but if you look at all of the top 6 teams, right, or even the Premier League, the top half of the table, majority of players who played in the Euros didn't have a pre-season. This is nothing new with Manchester United. Manchester United, every transfer, this is nothing new. They always tackle 1 or 2 players late into the transfer window. Yep. That's what Manchester United have done. And that's what a lot of clubs do as well, right? But what the other clubs do have already a defined style of play. And the thing about it, I'm not arrogant about tomorrow. I'm actually thinking that Manchester United, mentally, I know how weak these waste men are. So you need to go and watch my preview, what I did with Saeed yesterday. I said the first goal is vital. If they come and stick it on us in that first half an hour and we concede, we're going to fold. So you got total misconception of what I think. I'm just saying to you, in my point of view, in my humble opinion, Manchester United, from all the games this season, 4 league games, Manchester United have more possession than everybody else. Manchester United have played, in the 4 games they've played, they've had more possession than everybody else, right?
Is it positive
already, so listen, I'm going to fight a coach, right? He's come out in press conference this season, go and keep an eye on him, talked about control. Players have come out and said, Diego Dalot, his boy, oh yeah, possession, we look to control possession. Players and the coach are talking about possession. To me, possession means fuck all in football unless you are testing the goalkeeper.
That's true. No, that's true. Because Palace is the type of game. No, but Palace is. But this is exactly what I'm saying.
Other than to make the game helter-skelter pass, right? I want more technically secure players on the ball. Bruno, positionally, is havoc. He makes mistakes. He makes we already have a manager who has a weird way of playing, where the player on the ball in midfield, players running away from. That's why you see when we lose the ball, everybody doing a running man, right? So why would you have a player, right? If we're now, and this is me, Estrella, So I'm sat back. Every other United fan and the coach and the players are telling me we're playing different. No more hoofball anymore. We're playing different. We've got a new style of play where it's about control. So I'm not putting it on them. I'm saying, here's what you do then when you go to a hostile place. Have players who can keep the ball. One of the biggest things in football is, how do you defend? Do you defend with a ball or without the ball? Now, I'm a believer. If you have technical footballers on the football pitch, you keep the ball away from them. By you keeping the ball, especially when you go away from home, you get to frustrate their team, but because you're keeping the ball away from them, the moans and groans. But if it's a helter-skelter game and there's open wide spaces and you've got Bruno hoofball to nobody on a football pitch and Rashford just running like a headless chicken, then what you do is play into their hands. So I'm just going off by what the players have been telling me this season. In 4 games gone, the manager has said multiple times. I'm not saying that. I said this will be a tough game, and if Manchester United concede in that first half, it's going to be a long day, right? With the way they're going to play with the counter, the pace of Nketiah, and by the way, they play centrally now, by the way. So FA, they're going to play with their 2 fullbacks, right? The fullbacks are going to be the guys they play through, right? Mitchell and the Colombian kid. Right?
Mitchell's not good on the ball, so I'm not really worried about that.
Oh my God, you don't watch them, Mr. Estrella.
Yeah, I do watch them. Mitchell defensively.
Okay. Answer the question. Okay, so answer the question. Who does Mitchell connect with on the football pitch more than any other player on that pitch? For Crystal Palace.
Other player, I couldn't tell you off it, but I'm telling you, I watch him stylistically. I've watched games of him. I don't watch who he connects with. I watch him stylistically.
If you watch the way their set plays are, their set play is SA to go wide on the left, come inside with the ball. Mitchell overlaps on the other side, plays the ball, and all Mitchell does is whip balls across the box. And you know what? Matete has scored a lot of goals. Other players have scored a lot of goals. That is one of the set plays. I've spent.
Can I ask you what's their results this season?
I've spent and watched goals and goals and goals, and I've seen the way they're in Nketiah the other day as well. Both of them come centrally. So you got Mateta who plays up against a central striker. You've got Eze and you got Nketiah, left and right. Both of them play centrally, overloading the box. The 2 guys that go out wide is the Colombian guy, I forget his name, that they signed last season, and Mitchell on the left. That's who create their width for them, right? Then you've got...
You mean Daniel Munoz?
Is that his name? Munoz, yeah.
Yeah, right? Daniel Munoz.
Yeah. They're the 2 people that they go from. Nketiah is not going to be a guy that's going to give them that much width tomorrow. He's not. He's coming more into that box. You know where the box is? Like the boxes. Him and Eze are going to occupy in those spaces. And Mitchell is the guy and that's the guy to me who crosses the ball for them the most. The Meunier guy does it. He's doing it as well. Say that again?
He's good going forward. This is what I laugh at. It's like, what's their results this season? What's been their goals this season? Please let me know. I'm just saying. No, because this notion of
I watched the game by Brentford. They got beaten by Brentford, and actually, that SA goal that should have stood. Secondly, West Ham. I think West Ham winning 1-0, and then they went and scored and did something. But actually, if you watch the game before that, the 2 goals went in. The game was very much even, and actually, Crystal Palace were on top. But you watched both of the goals were breakaways, right? That they scored, especially the second where Juan.
That doesn't matter. Right? What was the penultimate?
No, I'm just lost the game. No, there's a context in that. There's no
context. There's no.
Can I just say to add to this? Can I just say to add to this? Palace are the type of team that can have way below 40% possession and still make sure they draw the game with you. That's them.
We've not won that since
Whether
my man is good at whipping balls or whatever, structurally.
Listen, our record it stinks. The first season of Ten Hag, the first time actually was announced as a Manchester United manager, was the last game of the season in that season. Bruno makes that mistake. They beat us 1-0. Second, Eric Ten Hag's first season, Eze does what he does. Not Eze, Olise does what he did, right? Bent the free kick, top corner. We drew 1-1, right? And that's where Casemiro got booked and missed the Arsenal game. Remember that game, yeah? A lot of United fans were cross about that. Last season, we got busted 4-0, right? So Manchester United actually have not won at Palace for the past 4 seasons.
No, we've not won at Palace, but we we've beaten them while we've been at home. That's only our.
No, I'm talking about in that ground. I'm talking about away from home. Manchester United, and we already know our record under Ten Hag in London. You already know the score. Away games and London teams. Go and look up Eric Ten Hag's record. London teams.
Go on, Estrella. Go on. You wanted to make a point. Go on.
Just to come back to that point, yeah, about you have to look about the styles in the game or the phrases in the game. It doesn't tell the whole thing. I could contextually say that about United when we've been poor. Yeah, we've been poor and lost certain games, but if you look at certain decisions in the game, or if he had scored that chance or whatever, we could have potentially won that game, but we didn't. We lost. The penultimate decision is that we weren't good enough in that game. Certain decisions might have gone against us, but we didn't do enough to win it. And that's the same thing about Crystal Palace. Fair enough, you want to say Mitch was a good player going forward and stuff, but I don't think he's that good for you to be worrying about. He's not a who's the Wolves left back? What's his name? Nori. Someone like him, he's the more technical person. I would be scared of going. Him going forward is very technical and scary. Yes, I don't associate that with Mitchell. And secondly, my second point is this is the whole point of me saying, what makes you think, or what pretenses you going to Selhurst Park thinking you're going to retain possession? You've just listed the amount of times we've had an awful record with them. So I'm not going there thinking, oh, because we've got structure now, we're going to have a dominance on the game and have more possession. I'm going there thinking I want defensive stability, and at the same time, I want to counteract or have the quick turnover when we do get possession back. So at least we can kill off the game and then bring on the likes of Eriksen to retain possession and see out the game, rather than starting. And if it goes crap, you basically lost all your cards, because you're then gonna have to bring on the likes of Garnacho, all these other players that necessarily you didn't have to start, or you could have started with them and then given them some time to relax and not need to play so many minutes because we're chasing to get an equalizer or to get a goal. That's the way I'm looking at it. So
I respect that. It's a different opinion, innit? For me personally, I'm only going by what the manager's been telling me and what the players have been telling me about the games about control and the games about and you can go back over any games. For me, they've not started well this season, guaranteed. Everybody can see it. It's there, the 4 games. Crystal Palace haven't. But in some of the games, the quality and the way, especially now in Nketiah on the right hand side, the way they're going to play. Tomorrow, in our back 4, this is the biggest test for Diego, for De Ligt, Martinez, especially Matete, the physicality that he's going to bring. But for me, it's totally different. For me, I'm going by what the manager said. This is not my opinion, but I'm going by what the manager says. So I'm saying you do not want to play a guy, Bruno, who fucks up your pressing structure because he goes and does it. 2, you have a player who mashes up your positionally because he's positionally indisciplined and he's everywhere on the football pitch, right? And I can't say that about many players, by the way. Not one player I can say that about. The rest of them might be shit, the 10 of them. But Bruno is there. And if you don't open your eyes and watch football like the way I like to watch football, then I don't know what can happen. Bruno on the press, indisciplined. Positionally indisciplined. The only thing he would offer is scoring, right? Scoring or setting up a goal. And I'm afraid if you look at the stats since the Eric Ten Hag's reign, drought. That's what it's been in terms of the effectiveness in the. He's actually even shooting from outside the area. All of the different metrics. Bruno.
Our last couple of games, I haven't seen many people shoot from outside the box. The only game is Anthony against Barnsley. That's the only game I've seen someone actually take a shot.
Listen, I'm talking about. So we not see the one what he was doing against Liverpool. The prop was there for Ahmad. What does he do? Vaz, you were in the stadium. I was in the stadium. What was he doing? Talk about it. He's a player to look, a captain. That's why, for me, the idea that he could be a captain for Manchester United is the most laughable. And that's why I know Eric Ten Hag ain't serious. This new structure ain't serious.
Okay, he should be captain.
3 more years of contract.
He also should be captain.
No, I've got evidence to back up every word that I'm saying about Bruno. I'm not speaking on him. Rashford has been trash, right?
Who should be captain then, Nuruddin?
Nuruddin, 2 things. No, wait. Two things. You've just said Crystal Palace is going to be the hardest test or Edin Nketiah. One, I disagree again because I would argue Fulham's front line is harder than Crystal Palace's. Like you had Amad Traore. I would say he was given the run around. If you remember the beginning of this, you can say it's the beginning of the season, but as a physical test, I would say Fulham are pretty up there as well as Crystal Palace. And secondly, as well as this Bruno hate that you're given or saying that you've made it clear, not necessarily hate. It's not even hate. You've made a decision. You don't like this player. Wait, it's fine. No worries. If he's not captain,
listen. I don't know Bruno for me to like him.
If he's not captain, that's fine.
Sorry. No, I have to correct you. I watched the game after game after game after game, season after season, and I look at one player and I think, how are you gonna have a style of play with players like him? And I said, that's why you've got to sell him. You've got to get rid of him. Or listen to me, Bruno. Or you got to have cojones and be a big manager about it and say, you know what? If you get into this position, and I don't expect you to be in that position, if you have not got an incredibly valid excuse why you've vacated that position, then you're coming off. You're getting subbed off. But this manager don't. Ollie gave him the free roll. Ten Hag has continued. And I'm saying to you, what I am talking to you about is that what Eric Ten Hag has told me, what majority of United fans have told me, and what the players have said. We now have a way of playing. We want to control games. We want to have more possession. And I'm like, well, with him being positionally disciplined, playing hoopball, you can't do that. So play somebody else. That's all I'm saying.
Wait,
I don't want to.
Wait.
I want to move along to the rest of the things. That's the only thing I am saying.
That's fine. It. That's fine. But captain, you're saying Bruno not being captain, so he also be captain for United, please.
Somebody who plays in their fucking position and doesn't get humiliated and gets tickled when they fall over and they start whinging and holding their legs.
That's fine. No, I'm not the name.
Somebody who thinks
Dallo can be captain.
No, he can't. No, he can't.
Dallo can be captain.
No, he can't.
Listen, somebody who's going.
Why?
Let me say. Let me just say this, right?
Why can Dallo not be captain? Casemiro can be captain.
Listen, I do not rate. Listen to me. At this moment in time, there is not one outstanding character that speaks out, and it's too early in the season for me.
No, it does. What are you talking? Of course, it does.
No, let me.
Dallo can be the captain of Manchester United. How can he not?
No, listen. No, fast he can be if he wants. Listen, he can be. What I'm saying to you...
Oh, my God.
What I'm saying to you... Listen, what I'm saying to you is this, yeah? I'll give it to somebody to lead a Martinez. When you go to games, Martinez is the natural...
I'm not giving it to him.
It's the captain. To me, when you go to games at Old Trafford, I don't know about away games. I don't go to many away games anymore. But when I go to Old Trafford, the player that, to me, has got the minerals and the characteristics of being a Manchester United captain is him. But this season, I'm worried about his form because I'm like, I don't know what kind of a player you are because you love fucking going partying in fucking Argentina. Even though I like his attributes when the way he plays the game, I'm not. So the guy that I hate the most, but he plays the most under Eric Ten Hag, as long as Eric Ten Hag's there, he's never going to be dropped, is Andre Onana. You two can argue about Diego Dalot.
You think Onana should be captain?
Onana should be captain.
You lost your goddamn mind! You've lost your goddamn mind!
I think he is the shittest player, shittest goalkeeper, one of the shittest goals Manchester United had. But this manager spent 50 million on him.
But how did Nuruddin make it? You don't even... I'm not even understanding you.
He's going to play. I don't think you understand. What I'm saying to you is...
But so is Dallo.
Listen to me. You two missed something. Right? Right? You two missed something. I said there is not an outstanding character other than Martinez. But for me, I'm worried more about his form because he's asked about playing for Argentina than he is about playing for Manchester United. Yeah. And
you said the same thing about Luke Shaw. You can say the same about Rashford.
Right. Listen. So the guy... Right?
No, but it's true. No, but it's true. It's true. What he's saying is true. Okay, all right, okay.
You can disagree with my point. Let me just finish. The reasoning why. I said there's no outstanding member other than Martinez, but his form's been shit. And I don't like him fucking, after we get smashed by Liverpool, him taking fucking photos with fucking McAllister. I'm not about that. And he's asked about partying in Buenos Aires, then he's asked about playing for Manchester United. And that's a fucking fact. So he's the only guy for me that could be captain, but I'm questioning his actions and what he's been doing. So I'm saying to you, there are no other outstanding people. The guy that manager's going to play every game, majority of games, right? Who's going to play is the guy who he bought as a goalkeeper, who's a dud, who's shy, who is a fraud, right? 50 fucking million for Onana. But of one game, like I said to you before, one game, because the United fans got gassed because the way he was passing with Inzaghi's coaching at Inter Milan in the final in the Champions League. So I'm saying to you, you might as well give it to him because he's going to play every game.
Nah.
See, me think, yeah. I was even going to get onto this as well. We're going to get onto that idiot in a second, yeah. Like, one, he shouldn't even be in the squad. Like, everyone that said get their hair out. This is why I'm saying about the whole Bruno thing is touching a little bit deeper. Not because I care about Bruno a lot. And Faz, now that I'm looking back on what you've said, I probably am inclined to agree with you about Delo for captain. Because I'm going through the squad in my head, I'm going through all the players in my head, and I'm thinking the people that have the right minerals, in terms of adversity, coming back, that dedication, professionalism, maybe he hasn't impressed me to say that I think he's the guy, but at least I can see him taking proactive steps to want to be that ultimate professional. And you hear stuff from Ronaldo about when he went his time at AC Milan, how he took it very serious. He was living in a one-bedroom flat, looking at all these training videos, like all of that type of stuff. It fits in. I can probably agree with you. Cool. But let's go back to the crux of things, yeah? If you're going to have this attitude for Bruno, cool. I agree with you. All the stuff that you said, yeah, fair enough. Let's just say for argument's sake, I agree with you. Talk about Luke Shaw. Talk about Marcus Rashford. I've
said it.
Wait. Let me finish. Wait.
Me and you don't watch my stream.
Okay. Let him finish. I know. Let him finish though. Let him finish.
Nuruddin, you don't need to educate me because you act like I haven't been watching you since 2017, 18. I've been watching you and saying I know your views already. You don't need to re-educate me. I know it already. But I'm saying if you're gonna say all of this stuff now about Bruno, yeah, that's fine. But then address the other side. If Ten Hag is gonna be like, oh, you're saying Ten Hag is gonna be here, that's the only reason why Bruno's starting. Brother, Russia's been starting for how long? Been poor for how long? Nobody wants to say nothing. Luke Shaw, been poor for how long? The guy's not on 60 bags. He's not over 150k a week. This guy's not 18 anymore. I've never heard of this. Pogba was crap. We never actually gave him the right minerals of a holding midfielder to his talent. But yet we made excuses for Harry Maguire. He hasn't got a far centre back. We accommodate him. Still crap. Oh, we need another centre back that will complement Maguire. We got another one. Still crap. Luke Shaw, he only turns up when he's got competition. If you remember correctly, two seasons before Telles came, he was dead. The moment we signed Telles, all of a sudden, I'm Luke Shaw again. Wanting to turn into Gilberto Silva. Goes off with England, had a good season, comes back. Telles is either gone or he's washed out or whatever. He's confident he's the starting left back again. What happens? Performance dips, then he gets injured again. You can't rely on him. So all of these things about I don't want people getting onto the wrong players. You're getting onto somebody where we've offered the captaincy to Rashford. He don't want it. There's a team of players, of internationals, high-level individuals, but Bruno's stepping up, putting it on every weekend and running his heart out. Fair enough, that's the bare minimum for my football club is to run. But I don't like the fact that you're just basically belittling somebody when look at everyone else. Look at everyone else in this situation. Harry Maguire's been here for how long? The captain got taken off him. No, why not? Luke Shaw's been here for how long? Why is he not stepping up taking the captaincy? Why not? He's been here with Rashford, one of the longest serving players. Why is no one saying anything? Casemiro, won so many Champions League. Everyone wants to go to his defense about what he done before. If he's so good than before, why doesn't he want to be captain? But it's left to Bruno, and all of you guys want to get onto one player. Like, look at everyone, not just focus on one person. It's not fair.
True. That's not true. And you're not talking to me. You're talking to some of the fans, maybe some of the comments.
Yeah, no. Nuruddin, you already know. Nuruddin, you know it's not directed at you. It's directed at everybody.
I hear it all the time. Listen, before Casemiro signed, I said about Casemiro, that why is he coming? I said, no other club in world football. And Saeed, you can go and find that video when he signed. Go and find it. It's just type in Casemiro signing and type it into Google, Saeed TV. I told him, signing this guy, no other club was give him. I said, Luke Shaw. I said, from the second contract, I've seen this movie before. Get him out. I nearly came to blows with somebody inside the stadium when I'm screaming at Luke Shaw, saying, Luke, some centre-half's got the ball. Offer a bit more width. Give him the angle to get the ball. I'm screaming and somebody said to me, sit down and stop having a go at the lad. And I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, it's the only player that I've come to blows with somebody close to coming to blows in the stadium. So you don't have to remember, Maguire, I'm on camera before he ever even kicked the one ball for Manchester United. Months before, and I said, this guy turns like a double-decker bus. He's not a Manchester United guy. So, listen, to me, I talk about Rashford. I said, Rashford, Martial, Pogba should have left after Jose Mourinho. To me, the players are the players. I'm going off by, I know those of you in the comments who are coming for me, Erik ten Hag rates Andre Onana. He's the guy who, as long as he's here, he's going to play every majority of games. So, in terms of captain, who's the most availability? That's really? To me, let me say something. Bruno can never be any captain of anybody because the way he plays football, right? Onana is shit. I've said it from day dot, right?
Yeah, but you can't. No. I'm sorry, Nordin. Stop right there.
Let me just finish the point.
No, man, you can't just. No, because I dislike Bruno's football just as much as you do. But you can't just say here because he plays football like that, he can't be a captain. No, that is unfair, Nordin. I'll tell you straight.
I'm sorry,
it's unfair, man.
You can't be captain when the Liverpool captain is tickling your fucking neck because you're rolling around like a little bitch. You can't be a captain of my football club.
But you want to give it to Onana, somebody that can't cut across. Are we forgetting what this guy does on a consistent basis?
No, I'm not giving. Listen, everybody knows my views about Onana. I'm saying to you, as if you are Erik ten Hag, the other guy who's going to play the most is Onana. He's the guy who's going to play for him because he's the guy that spent 50 million on a fucking sick goalkeeper that fucking dives about. And he's never going to play anybody else but him.
What does that say? What does that say? What does that say?
That's on Erik ten Hag. That's what I said. That's what I'm saying to you. And you know, Diego Dalot, yeah? Everything what you said, everything what Fast says, and you know I always tease Fast. You know, I always say how much he's on commission. If you saw you shouting him for captain now, your commission is gonna triple next time you see him. So don't worry, right? I know you're working on commission. Anywhere you can, you're doing a bit of the PR and a Diego Dalot prop, yeah? Don't know I'm up to the game. I already know this. But you could say that. But we know, and the same reason why you said Estrella, right? We know this guy, form goes like this, yeah? 4 months is brilliant. Most improved player at Manchester United. 2 months, dip. 4 months, good. 2 months, a bit. That's what his journey has been at Manchester United. That's why you don't really genuinely trust him, yeah? Plus, he's also had his fair share of injuries, right? So what I'm saying to you guys is that the guy who gets injured the least is Onana. He's shit, but that is the manager chose him. So I'm saying to you, if I'm Erik ten Hag, if I'm taking the captaincy away from him, and by the way, all the dickheads in the chat, he was saying, you can't have a goalkeeper. Listen to me. You know, modern football, the captain is not what it used to be. You had some of the greatest captains. You had a World Cup winning goalkeeping captains, right? You've had goalkeepers who have been captains. I hate Onana. I dislike Bruno. I dislike Rashford. If it was up to me, Luke Shaw, all these players would have been gone. And Vas knows my views. You know my views. Majority of you know my views. Onana is the guy the manager spent 50 fucking million. When I say that back to myself,
spent 50 million on Mason Mount as well. Why don't make him captain as well then?
No. Listen, that guy. Listen, that's what I'm saying to you. The difference between Onana, we talking about one is a plastic player, one is a guy that don't hardly miss games. Who's always whether he's taking his wife's dieting pills or not. If they do the test and find out that he has been, then he'll get banned. But if you looked at Onana's record, he's always available. So that's what I'm saying to you. I'm doing that because that's
Okay.
what Eric Ten Hag.
But are you thinking of the psyche for the other players, though, Nuruddin? It's
Say that
the
again?
thing. Are you thinking about the? It's not just about the factor of just taking captain and giving it from one person, transition it to another. If you're gonna take it away from Bruno, which I'm all up for, cool. If you want to alleviate that pressure off him, no worries, because we took it off Rooney. When the captain got off him, you saw his game and didn't improve as much. It felt like he wasn't playing the same, didn't have the same aggression. That's why when it got taken away from him at the stage, you thought you could probably get it back, but it didn't. Same thing with Harry Maguire. Wayne Rooney. When Rooney was captain, that aggression
on his last legs, on his last seasons, when he was already declining.
No, just before it was declining. Remember when he's 2010 went out after Ronaldo left, and I think he had that when he scored a bicycle kick, and he was our main starlight. Went to World Cup, had injections in his legs, took on more responsibility. Then he became less and less more aggressive. Then he started to have the dip. That's what I'm saying. You see lately, Harry Maguire, apparently he was good. I don't know when this was. Had the captaincy, maybe it was a thing that made him play bad. They took it off him now. Apparently,
it was something to do with that. Just because it wasn't.
If you want to do that, if you want to do that with Bruno, that's fine. But I'm saying transition it to who? If I'm another player in that squad and I see it go to Onana, I'm gonna be thinking, cool, you've taken it from my man. But it's like out of everyone here, you're giving it to the guy that's cost us Champions League football. He leaks goals and gives us apprehension every time the ball goes anywhere near the box because we don't know what we're gonna get. The guy can't.
But your manager plays him, Estrella. No. Your manager plays him every week.
Doesn't matter. You've got to think about
every game. Every game.
So wait. So every time Mason Mount is fit, is he got to play because he spent 50 million on him? Wait. Just to justify your point right now, yeah, Ahmad's doing well this season. He's finally getting his opportunity after I've been saying for a minute now, yeah, cool. Because Anthony now scored against Barnsley and he spent 90 million on him, has he got to be starting every game now?
Listen, we already know. Listen to me. We already know, right, that truly deep down in his heart, Eric Ten Hag don't really fancy Ahmad, right? He don't fancy Ahmad. He's had to give him. He's had to give him a more of a like because he's made it impossible not to be picked, right? Because of the performances. And Eric Ten Hag is on record coming out saying, you know what, he's doing so well in training. I mean, this is even when he was pretending, saying he was still injured and he wasn't injured and he was fit, right? But the point I want to make, you know what? Somebody gets it on the chat. Let me just go down on the chat here. Somebody, Asad Ashraf gets it. He says, I understand what Nuruddin's saying. Onana's shit. But take the pressure of having to discuss who's captain every week, because Onana is the only guaranteed starter. Our squad doesn't have captains. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Would you feel confident? Forget all the point that you're trying to make here. Just as if that decision was made now, would you feel confident when it's the start of that game and we're seeing captaincy go through the tunnel and Onana's wearing that band? Yeah, you're confident that he's going to lead our team to a victory.
No. Listen, I'm telling you already. Let me tell something to you now. Like Estrella, there is no outstanding captain in this football club that would ever, because we're not even been that type of football club. We've not, right? We've not been that type of football club that where we have fostered and created natural leadership and leaders amongst players. Yeah, right. Yeah. That's why when the captaincy was offered to certain players, right? You talked about before, Rashford, they were like, you know what? Nah, I don't want this fucking. I don't want to know about it because they know Manchester United are shit, right? Deep down, they're like humans. They can see. They've got eyes. They've got ears. You know what I mean? They know. They've got feelings. They understand. So the point what I'm trying to make to you is that it's only till Eric Ten Hag is sent packing. If it was up to me, Onana gone, Evans, Maguire. Do you think Linda? Estrella, do you think these players will be on the squad? Do you think half of our squad will be there? I will only keep maybe. The late still needs to show what he can do. Masraoui still knows what to do. Xerxes, so the new players, they get opportunity. The only other players who stay in this football club is because Garnacho, I think, if I was in charge, yeah, I'll get a developmental coach to work with him. I'll get a developmental coach to work with Kobe, right? And I would get some of the youth team and stuff like that, they'll stay. Not many. Bruno will be gone. Rashford will be gone. Ericsson will be gone. Casemiro will be gone. Like, I don't think you understand. Like, on all of the rest of the Josh will go, other than the players that we've signed this season.
So, Nuruddin, having said that, yeah, and you have that thought, and I agree with majority of what you've just said, yeah, how can you now then say that, it's third season, make it work now? After you've just listed the amount of players that you would get rid of, yeah?
Because he's his manager. No, it's this manager. No,
This
no,
manager
no,
bought,
no, no.
wait, this manager bought Harry Maguire. This manager bought Luke Shaw. This
Oh
manager
my
made
God.
Rashford come
Stella,
to the
you're not
team.
doing that. Stella, you're not doing that. Stella, you're not doing that. You're not doing that.
I'm playing
You're
devil's
not doing
advocate.
that.
I'm playing
You're
devil's
not doing that,
advocate.
Stella.
I'm playing devil's
Stella,
advocate.
Stella, let me give you a fact. Let me listen. I'm gonna blow your argument, that straw man argument, out the water.
Okay.
Out of all the managers Manchester United ever had, right? All the Manchester United have in the last 12 years. Guess who had the most money spent? Guess who had the most the players that they wanted in the football club? Have a guess.
It's Ten Hag.
So don't give me any of that.
We're not going to do that though. Wait. So because he's had the most money spent, because in his tenure he's had the most money spent, it means by default he's been back the most.
He signed the most players, Estrella.
Yes, he has. Estrella, yes, he has. He's been back the most.
Estrella, he has signed, it's proven, not Oli, not Van Gaal, not Jose. Eric Ten Hag has had the most backing from Manchester United. He's had the most player turnover than any other coach. So it totally blows your argument or straw man argument out of the water. And that's why I'm saying to you, there's zero excuse for him. Nowhere to hide this season. Nowhere.
What I'm going to say is, Faz, you already know my points. You already know my position on the manager, innit?
Yeah,
Let me just break it down for you now.
Yeah, to clarify, you're not in or out. You're just...
Yeah, I'm not. Obviously, you already know I'm a training solicitor. I'm not here in defense of Ten Hag. Far from it.
No, it's true. It's true.
That's the real word. Estrella, your eyes are lying to you, right? Let me just say something to you, okay? Right? Big up to you, by the way. We need more solicitors in it because the system is there. And if you're defending me, trust me, Stella, if you're defending me, I know I'm in good hands. If you're defending me, I know I'm in good hands, right? Because you speak like a politician, and you know what, most lawyers, their end-up job is as a politician, in it, right? So you're doing a bit of the Marcel kind of thing. But let me say something to you now, right? And I'll say to you simple, right? You're talking about the person who's invented that. Guys, it's not the manager, it's the structure. That's who you're talking to. You're not talking to like part of the sheep. You're talking to the guy that said, guys, stop looking at the manager. Stop looking at the players on the football pitch. Look what's above them. Look what's going on. The reason why I'm saying this season of all seasons, Manchester United fans, majority of the sheep have been telling me, Omar Barada. Like he's Omar Barada Diego Maradona, because that's what I call him now. Omar Barada, like he's playing as the number 10, and he's gonna put balls into top bins and do all sorts of madness. Ashworth as the best left winger, like he's gonna play on the fucking football pitch, yeah. Wilcox, like he is gonna roll back the years to the 90s and be on the left and swing those balls. By the way, Wilcox was a decent winger for Blackburn back in the day. Those of you who don't know, right? At the end of the day, there's a football structure. There's a head of development. That Manchester United have got rid of 7 or 8 people or 9 people in the board. Ineos have done a complete takeover. I'm being facetious and hyperbole when I'm talking about them. So the reason why I'm saying to you, no excuse. Now there's a football structure. There's a technical director. There's a director of football, right? Sporting director. That's what he occupies, whatever you want to call it, Ashworth, right? Then you've got head of performance, Dave. Dodgy Dave. And if you don't know who Dodgy Dave is, go and look it up. Just type in Sky Team Cycling, and you know what, you'll find out what a Dodgy Dave is. You got Blanc. So you've got a complete change of all footballing people in that. That's the reason why I'm saying no excuse. This manager was back to the hill. No other manager has spent the most amount of money. No other manager has had the biggest turnaround of players than any other manager. And if you want to judge them, right, if you're going to judge the other managers, right, on a playing field, Eric Ten Hag, more player turnover, more money spent on him than any other coach at Manchester United. And actually, more time. And then in that, he has the record for the worst finish in Premier League history. And he has the minus goal difference than any other manager in Premier League history. So make it make sense.
Could I just ask you, like, without pontificating on this situation for too long, like, my issue is, like, like I said, I'm not in defense of Ten Hag. I already said if what I see going forward is not sustainable and sufficient, get rid of him. I'm all for it. But what I'm not going to stand here for, and like what I've heard from other social media platforms, I'm not going to give them the time of the day. But it's like this constant barrage of like not necessarily negativity, but it's like onus on Ten Hag to start performing. Like, for example, if you purchased a derelict property now, yeah, and I said, oh, here's 300k, go fix that property. I mean, there's no excuse now, even though there's years of decay in the property. I've given you 300k. Go fix that revenue. Go rejuvenate that property and make me my flip. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, the structure's here, but we've never had structure at this club before. This is not further excuses for Ten Hag, by the way. This is literally for what's going on at United. We've never in football history, whenever we ever heard of a large club like this in our football history being accumulated at 25% stake. And then that small stake is now going to be controlling the football aspects. We're going into uncharted territory. We're going into uncharted territory. So to say that he's got time, third season, I agree. He's got to perform. No excuses. But let's not start saying, from today, because 1, 2, 3 people have come now. I'm not doing that. Because if in the same sense, yeah, I'll be like, okay, cool. Rashford, you've been here for more than 5 years. Luke Shaw, you've been here more than 5 years. Harry Maguire, you've come up to 5 years. Lindelof, you've been coming up to almost 5 years. Onana, we paid 50 million. Mount, we paid 50 million. Rashford, you're on 300 and something K. You lot have been here long enough and you're earning long enough and you've earned more than enough. Start performing right now. The same way you want the manager, there's no more excuses. There's no more excuses on them players.
No, that's a fair point. No, that's a fair point.
How many more times are we going to go into one of these games?
That's a fair point. I agree.
We're playing mid opposition, and I'm going, I'm biting my fingernails. I never used to do that. When Fergie was a job, let
me just read this super chat as well from Spilling Media, who's a big PSV fan and a huge admirer of Eric Ten Hag because he's a Manchester United fan as well. And he says, name another manager that can handle this club by his own first season. He brought structure. Even Bruno said it on The Athletic. And that's a very easy answer. It's a very easy answer. Mourinho did it.
Mourinho did what?
Mourinho, when he came into Manchester United, he brought trophies with him with the rotten structure that Manchester United already had. He was trying to beef players that people at that time picked players over him, and he was trying to do the disciplining thing, and people didn't like it. He did try.
And what happened?
Okay, what happened is at that time, our patience level wasn't that much, so we got rid of Mourinho. But Mourinho did.
Okay, wait.
Van Gaal is another one that wanted to do his own football, but one season didn't get anything after that, and he still delivered a trophy.
Guys, football was boring. I'm not going to do revisionism. I agree with you.
I'm not revising.
I agree with you about Mourinho and also Van Gaal. But Van Gaal, David Moyes, atrocious. Never should have been appointed. Van Gaal, a few good youth players came through, but football was boring. I remember Louis Van Gaal's army, boring as hell. Mourinho, first season, pretty decent. After that, you kind of already knew what was going to transpire. Oli, let's not even talk about that period. And then you got Michael Carrick, Ragnick, and then we've now to Ten Hag. Through the transition, as well as you're going to put onus on the manager, there's been players been here since and still here, and the same thing's still going on. And everyone's going to fixate on the manager. At what point are we both all going to say and be like, cool, if the manager's crap, that's fine. But these players, come on, bro. Like, really? 18 months of being poor, you bag a couple goals, all of a sudden, he's coming back. Like, is he Jimmy Savile or something? What's going on?
Yeah, but this is Guram says a good point as well. Ten Hag football is the most boring football in history, and LVG was playing with washed players, which is also a fact. The thing is, you can argue both sides of that. You can argue both sides with very valid points, but factually, there is some things that we cannot look past because it's written in the grain, right? It's written in the soil. 1, he's been back the most. 2, he's had the most patience. 3, the club selling happened whilst he was here, and he's fortunate enough to stay under this new structure as well. I'm sure, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Moyes, Ragnick, Ole would have absolutely loved if they had this sort of structure coming in their tenure as well. After the first season, coming third, coming third, winning the Carabao, the patience that he got in the second season, yeah, there is no way. But Estrella also makes a very good point. On the other hand, it's just like you want to deal with the manager with the iron fist, you have to deal with some of these players with the iron fist as well. One of the reasons why I'm not going to say too much on Ugarte straight away. I'm not. Even on Mazarawi, I'm a bit like, okay, you're doing well. I'm actually enjoying seeing you, but I know how football works. Martinez, there's questions being asked all of a sudden now that he's 1v1 looking a bit shaky. We don't know if he's actually can play a full season, right? Let's watch out. Xerxes, there's a bit of conversation there. Can he be that main man for Manchester United? Rasmus, jury's out on him. Garnacho, there's people out on him. There's a lot of different things on players as well. Rashford, jury's out on him. Bruno, jury's out on him. So it's a both-sided conversation, but all roads lead to the dugout, whether we like it or not.
What do you mean the jury's out? I need to know clarification, because I agree with Nuruddin as well at some aspects about Bruno. The jury is not out on Bruno. He's been here long enough that we know what we're gonna get. Same thing as Rashford. Been here long enough. Yeah.
After this season, if it don't make sense, if it don't make money, if it don't get points, it don't make sense. It's as simple as that. I don't need the chance creation if we ain't coming third in the Premier League. Let's be honest.
Fans, this is why I love YouTube, because everything's recorded. Nuruddin, you remember, yeah? Remember the end of last season, it was me, you, and Said, and we was talking about this. No, the season when Rashford got the 30 goals, we was talking about this. Remember, his contract was coming up to an end. I was like, don't give him the contract. I said, you can't fool me. I even quoted Hush Puppy. I said, I'm a Nigerian. You can't scam me, bro. You're not going to scam me. One good season in 4 years, you're not doing that to me. Impossible. This is the same thing as Bruno. Me personally, this new contract we're giving him, I would have cashed in. I've cashed in. These two players are the most, to me, it's the comparable to Arsenal when Arteta was there. Aubameyang and Ozil. Not necessarily in terms of stylistic, but just in terms of how they have the impact on the team and on the whole squad as a collective. If you remove those two, I think we'll play better football. I honestly believe. I think the ethos around the whole club would be better. I think there's so much pressure on Rashford to perform, even though I think he's reached his ceiling and I don't think there's any more to give. I think if he gets 20 goals, no comps at the end of this season, it will be decent for him. And people think he should be doing more. I don't think he's that guy. I've never thought he was that guy. When people comparing him to Mbappe, I thought you were concussed. Not you, Nuruddin, obviously.
I did.
Yeah, I can never think that. And Bruno as well, he's world class. Yeah, I think he's a very good midfielder. If we got rid of him tomorrow, I wouldn't really mind.
Well, there we go. You know what? There we go. We agree. Vaz, by the way, Vaz did, because Vaz is the chairman, the CEO, the general of Giddy FC. So any little thing he sees is here going, oh yes, we're gonna win the World Cup. Yeah, with Manchester United, we're gonna do it all. But anyway, listen, about tomorrow's game, I genuinely want to know. My feelings is that the first goal is vital. Do you disagree or agree with me? Do you think
agree? Yeah.
Manchester United. I think it depends what team starts,
By the way, I'm just seeing now, Vas. So let me just grab something. I'm just seeing now. Eric Ten Hag's. So basically, the second part of his interview, the embargo section. The embargo section. Let me just grab some of these quotes. Bear with me. I don't think Ugarte is going to start tomorrow.
I don't think he'll start either.
Yeah. So I can just tell from the way that he is basically talking, right? The way that he's talking, I don't think Ugarte is going to start. So he says here, Ugarte he's a very short in some sessions. He's in the process where he has to come into the club, the team, the game model, and what are the Prince especially known with his profile and what he can contribute. You can see he will be a very good player for us. So that means he's not starting. From everything that I see from that chat, I don't think he's starting. I'll be shocked if he starts tomorrow. I'll be absolutely shocked.
Can I quickly touch on one thing as well, really quickly, just without going back too far? You see, when you said that, he's been Ten Hag's been backed and everything, yeah. I just want everyone to remember, before Martial left and Varane left, yeah, we all agreed that we needed another centre back when Varane was here, yeah, and we needed another striker, right? I don't see what Ineos has done that's benefited us forward from last season, if I'm being honest, in terms of the collective as a squad. Because Xerxes is just, for me, a more mobile, younger version of Martial, because he's not really a striker, he's more of an inverted forward, and his link-up play is good, just like Martial one was. We haven't got an out-and-out striker, other than Højlund, who's a young kid still learning the trade. And what basically got Lenny Euro, who's supposed to be a young regent of Varane. But then I would then say we've got De Ligt, which is further back up. But in terms of the striker, we haven't got a new further striker. We just replaced Martial. We still need another striker. We haven't replaced from back in the day when we had Cavani, from when Ronaldo and Cavani left. So when everyone goes, oh, he's been given all this stuff that he wants, like even when we got Amrabat, that wasn't. We weren't chasing him the whole summer. We were linked with other midfielders. I remember being specifically linked with Rabiot, even Leon Goretzka.
But what's the point you're trying to make?
No, I'm just saying, like, moving forward, for when people want to keep going on with this idea about Ten Hag being backdoor, the squad is fine. If you can turn around and I can say to you, if you were manager, how many players would you get? And how many players would you get rid of this team, yeah? And you can name me almost a whole new starting 11. How can you then expect this manager to be showing you results straight away?
Because the players are his players from his village. There's his village men. He's his stepson, his nephew, his uncle's son. It's all of them.
Bro. You don't want to go back to the argument, because I could say same for Moyes, same for worse for Moyes, worse for Van Gaal, worse for Jose, and worse for Oli.
Why was it worse for David Moyes?
Do you not remember? So David Moyes, Fabregas, Tony Cruz, we were linked with, yeah. Manchester United on the last day of the last hours of the transfer signed Fellaini for 28 million.
Can I just
one? And then in January he got Juan Mata, and this is what they promised. So they gave David Moyes, yeah. This is what the football club gave him, a 7-year contract and promised him. They showed him the portfolio. They said, "This is what we're going to do. There's the portfolio. These are the players we're going to show you. This is what, sign on a dotted line, Manchester United, we're going to get Gareth Bale, we're going to get either Tony Cruz, Cesc Fabregas, Thiago Alcantara. We got all, they said, out of the midfielders, which one do you want? Do you want Tony Cruz? Do you want Thiago? Do you want Fabregas?" Right? That's what they said to him in midfield. Then they said to him, what was the other player that I mentioned just before? I just mentioned. There was another player I just mentioned. But they told him about all these players that Manchester United are going to get for him. They signed him for Fellaini. So that's one. Jose Mourinho.
I'm not going to forget what he did.
Louis van Gaal, they said to him, Mane. They're going to get Mane. Who else they were going to sign? There was two other players that he was going to sign, but they were nowhere near. Instead, they got the French guy from Everton. They got, I think the only good player that they signed for him was Schladlin, yeah. Horrendous. Was never going to work, right? So at the end of the day, every manager has been done to. Jose, they literally said to him, Jose, remember, he went to the US with kids and everybody went, I think there might have been an international tournament or whatever it was. And then he was like, what are the players he wanted? United didn't want to pay $5 million for the Croatian winger that used to play for Spurs. I forgot the guy's name. Played for Inter Milan. $5 million they didn't want to play.
Perisic.
Yeah. Perisic. So every manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Grealish, you saw him talking to Grealish. Me and Vass were in the stadium. At the end of the first season of Ole, after that 6 months, we played Villa. The game ends. We're all in the stadium. They beat us. Grealish scores. He's chatting to him. Grealish. They got Donny van der Beek, who you'd even want. Jose Mourinho, they gave him Fred, who we never even wanted. Right? And they bought Diego Dalot when he was saying, I just finished second. Yes? In one season they bought.
Yeah, that's not true that Fred, he didn't want Fred.
Are you kidding me?
That's not true they want Fred. It's not true. It's not true they didn't want him. Might not have been his first option, but it's not true they didn't want him.
Listen, let's not argue. Bro, listen, let's not argue about this. Let's not argue about
this. Look. Those managers never had, even before this structure came in, they didn't have a Murto and Arnold going piggybacking around Europe for players. They didn't. Mourinho wanted the likes of Perisic, yeah? and the board never went out of their way to go and get him that type of player that he wanted.
Did he not get Di Maria?
But with this manager, they went like this. They just said sign here, and they signed. That's the fact. This is the fact. They didn't want to play certain amount of million for certain players for the other managers, but for this manager, the board said, you know what? We've made these mistakes with the previous managers. With Eric, what we're gonna do? We're gonna break the bank. We're gonna go bankrupt. Just go crash out with this manager. They believed him that much that they were willing to go against the scouts' valuation of Anthony. Just a couple seasons ago, they valued Anthony at 25 million under Ole, and yet they decided to pay 100 M's for him, 80 M's.
Whose fault is that?
The boards.
Oh, cool. I was gonna say, because these are the same people that scouted over 50 over 100 right backs and or 500 right backs and then the Wan-Bissaka. So like when it comes to signing certain players, the whole responsibility can't just be on one person. I'm not gonna have that. Like,
no, it's not on Eric. No, it isn't on Eric. It isn't on Eric. But listen, but listen, you can't.
Anthony.
But you.
Ericsson.
Yeah. Wait, what did you say? What did you say? He wanted Anthony.
He wanted Anthony. He wanted Unana.
Yeah, when did he? Wait. There's context behind it. When did he want Anthony? If I remember correctly, he wanted him in August. What did Ajax say to us? You can have Martinez and Anthony for 90 million euros. What did we do? We tried to do auction. They charged us more.
No, listen. You're talking to somebody who understands the structure and the way I was saying that should have gone sign him as soon as it came to 1st of July, but we didn't. We waited till listen. So you're talking to somebody who looked at the structure. I'm saying to you, this manager, the players he wanted, this club got for him. No other manager has individually had the players that they wanted and got to. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Fair enough.
I agree with that. But
I want to talk about the game tomorrow. I don't want to go over already settled in. I want to talk about the game tomorrow. So if they score first, do you worry for Manchester United?
Like I said, it depends what team starts. That's for me, because if you have a team of I'm starting to feel like there's a new ethos, a new ideology forming within, not necessarily around the whole club, but certain players that are coming through, like within Menu, within Garnacho, within the youth, and obviously some of the new players that we brought in. I personally feel if you start some of them new people rather than some of the old, even if it was to go a goal behind, I feel like when you're like, to take it away from football, when you start a new job, you might have be very successful in your previous company, and you're going to not such a successful company. It might take a while for their negativity or their crap to rub off on you, but you're going there with all brand new headlights. So when the shit hits the fan, you're still gonna try and make it work. And I feel like players like Mazraoui, De Ligt, Garnacho, Menu, Zerski, they're not necessarily infected just yet. So if you're to start them, I don't necessarily think if you're to go goal behind, it's game over. Because a lot of the games we've been playing poor in, even the Fulham game, even the game in the Fulham game at the start of the season, and we weren't playing that well, I wasn't really scared like we was gonna go. There seemed to be like a new rejuvenation of like confidence, or like it's not over yet.
Fair enough. That makes sense, because what you're saying is that players who have been damaged with trauma of losing games before in the past and psychologically being damaged, you should not be starting them. Start players who can start with more of a positive frame mind, and even if they go down, who have that in them to go, no, we're going to get back into this game.
I definitely beat that Mazraoui. Mazraoui strikes me as one of them players. Definitely strikes me as one of them players.
Well, so far so good. Touch wood. Like I said, for me, my biggest thing about him was that injuries, and I just pray. Honestly, every time I go to mosque, I pray for him, because I'm like, you know what? That's my only thing about it. I never said about anything about his qualities. He's actually a winger turned, fullback.
Yeah, he said he's played all over, centre mid, right wing, left back.
Yeah. He's got the technical abilities, right? But at the end of the day, for me, it's always been about, can he stay fit? But also say, but to answer the same question, because I really want to know about the psychology of the game, right? That's what.
If we go one goal down, it's we're not going to be able to dig ourselves out of that hole. Not against Palace away. We're not, because Palace, by the looks of how they're going this season, they are fantastic. Even though their season started really bad, but hear what I'm saying, they're really good at letting the opposition enjoy the ball, whether it's at home or away. They don't care.
Okay.
systematically, positionally, they are very comfortable at not having the ball. They control the game without having the ball. That is that is how they play. You look at just how they played against Chelsea. You look at how they played against Leicester, for example, as well. You know, Leicester, they scored 2 goals. Excuse me. They scored 2 goals, had half the, weird stat, expected goals in the game, yet they still banged 2. They had less than half the goal attempts against Leicester and still bagged 2. Do you know what I'm saying? They still got on their shots on goal. And then when you convert the stats and you actually look at the game, they're very, very effective when they attack. So if they manage to get a goal, however that is, especially in the first half, it's long day. Early in the first half, long day, because we struggle to break down teams that want to sit back and relax. And then later on in the game, if we concede, then it's still a long day. I want to see if, and I said this last season as well, if we concede a goal in a game against the likes of Palaces, Brentfords, Bournemouths, Brightons early on or whatever during the game, can we show resilience? And it's very okay to get a draw when you get a Bruno Fernandes individual goal, a Dalot individual goal, but can the team create like we did the goals against Southampton and Barnsley? And that's where my giddiness comes in. Because I look at the type of goals we're scoring against Barnsley and Southampton, I'm like, this team can create chances. I'm sorry, but the fact is there. Whether it's a training pitch, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, something's working here.
Vaz, I'm not gonna lie to you. Don't let me rain on your parade. Don't talk to me about Barnsley. Southampton game, you look at the 2 goals we scored, both 2 goals from set pieces, second balls on set pieces. So it wasn't the first ball, it was a second ball. So it was a pass from a corner from Eriksen to Bruno. Put in. Actually, it was a Diego De Ligt, just spectacular fucking header that was. If you want to know that type of header, there's a player that used to play called Oliver Bierhoff. That was an Oliver Bierhoff kind of header where you bend it into the corner. That's what De Ligt did. Second goal, another corner comes over. Ahmad gets hold of it, takes the ball down, looks for Rashford. Rashford's in space next to him, and he whips it around loads of bodies. And actually, De Ligt did the best thing because De Ligt was blocking the goalkeeper and he just stepped out of the way. He didn't touch it. He would have been offside if he wouldn't. And that went in. The third goal is the only goal that by that time they were down to 10 men. And that was in the last few minutes of the game. That was the only goal because Casemiro used Diego Dalot dummy run as the thing. Everybody thought he was going to play it to Ahmad, but he was playing the pass to Diego Dalot, who made a late run into the byline to whip it back. And to be fair to Garnacho, made that brilliant run and put the ball in the roof. So at the end of the day, that was the only goal that Manchester United have scored. The 2 goals that Manchester United have scored, I would say the 2 goals that were proper from a proper build-up this season, Manchester United have scored clinically. Not counter-attacking football, not hoofing it and hit and roll. So it's literally worked the ball through the third, middle and the third, right? Have been the first goal against, that won us the game against Fulham, and actually that goal against Southampton. It's the only what you could say it was a proper controlled team goal.
You saw the same pattern against Barnsley, by the way. The cutback, the natural shot on goal, and it was blocked. So the pattern is there.
I erased that. I erased that out of my head because it's Barnsley. And the way
do you know what me and Frank are talking about this?
Better. Your team, Nathan, will defend better. Your team.
No, then the reason why me and fans are talking about Barnsley, I'm in accordance with you when you're saying it's Barnsley League One. Are we joking? Come on, let's be serious. We agree. My thing is this: it's more about the ideology of these players or the philosophy of Ten Hag. If we're saying, if all the players are saying, yeah, he's implementing structure, style of football, blah blah blah, but we're not seeing it on a Saturday, until Southampton and Barnsley. It's kind of like a reflection for the players as well, because they're doing this Monday to Friday. And eventually now in an actual game, we're starting to see patterns. So it brings a sense of belief. Not necessarily saying, because it was against Barnsley, let's all get excited and they're going to do it to Crystal Palace. But it's like, they can now believe in themselves that they can actually do it. So that's why I'm hoping to see on Saturday. But my thing is, if we don't, there's a way of what my position on this whole Ten Hag thing is, because I'm seeing in the comments, it's not Ten Hag's fault. But I'm not going to deny he's made a lot of questionable mistakes and he's very lucky to be in this privileged position. So I'm nowhere as towards as to thinking he hasn't done anything wrong and he's a saint. No, it's far from that. On Saturday, if we draw, lose, even if we win, I'm still going to be shaky on this guy. There's a way that I want to win. Not necessarily has to be an amazing win, but if it's like a moment of brilliance, I can't lie, I'm done with this whole process. It has to be a collective way where even if we don't play amazing, we've stuck to the game plan and we've got through. And maybe Crystal Palace just were defensively sound and it was one of them 1-0s. If it's a moment of brilliance, I'm done with this manager because it's like after 3 seasons, I now have to see something at least in your form of play. We can't just be going to each different club or each different team going, because they got this problem or because we got this problem, we're going to have to set up defensively. At some point, we're going to need to see on a consistent basis what we've seen against Southampton and Barnsley, against good individuals. And that's what I'm hoping to see on Saturday.
Matthew Estrella, I'll go even one better. I'll be on this, and everybody knows what I think about this manager. This manager is a weirdo of a coach. He needs to have specific players. He vacates midfield. He lets the fullbacks come on, and then we do all sorts of craziness, right? So, if tomorrow at 5:30, I'll be doing a watch along with Saeed. At 5:30, I see Manchester United with a game plan. In and out of possession, Manchester United being in control, but more in possession. Manchester United building up ball. Henderson making saves in the game. They go the other end and they score. I will be on YouTube. I'll be arguing. You know how it is, me and Saeed, when we get into it. I'll be having a screamer match with him, and I'll be defending the team and Erik ten Hag till the hope. Because for me, it's not about 3 results in a football game. You win, you lose, you draw. It's about how you win and how you draw and how you lose.
And in this third year, I can't credit him for wins where Alejandro is scoring overhead kicks.
Yeah, I can't do it no more. Yeah, no.
And Dalot is scoring from outside the box, and ball is being ping ponged around in the box, and then you're getting a win. And I've tried myself, by speaking to, for example, some footballers and whatever, and saying, as a fan, I'm thinking like this, and they're like, some of these players are saying to me, for some games, it's just, it happens. You just, luck happens, and you get a goal, you take the 3 points, and you go to the next game, you move on. But as a fan, that's not something that I'm enjoying. I can't lie. This heart palpitation.
It's not sustainable.
It's not heart palpitation, high blood pressure football. I tried to be Giddy Army first season. Second season, I was done. This season, I know what I'm looking for. And if I'm not getting what I'm looking for, then what better off am I than compared to the boring football that Jose and Van Gaal played? Because it's no better off. At least those guys got it. Or those guys got it over the line in certain games. That's the fact. The Antonio Contes, the Diego Simeones, Inzaghi's, these guys know how to get the game over the line. That's the point of the thing. We can be drawing until the 89th minute, but can we play stick to a system? And this is why I take a lot of fear. But I think fear might not be the right word, but that's the word I'm looking. That's the feeling I'm feeling. Fear from the way Chelsea scored that goal. From Sancho to Nkunku. I look at these teams at the dying moments of the game. They are not waiting for individual brilliance. They're playing the way they continually play, and making sure that they squeeze a goal out, and it comes. The chance comes. You look at, for example, Arsenal, Spurs. Spurs stick to their guns no matter what. They stick to the guns. We, at times, we play 35 minutes like this, 20 minutes control, 25 minutes like this, 15-minute control. It's just very yo-yo. And the fact that Nuruddin early on in the stream said, against, Southampton, he brought Kobe and someone else near him, and he said, stop doing this, start doing this. Why? How? Do you know what I'm saying? Learn, this is what I'm trying to get across to the fans is he needs to start off his team not getting peppered early on. It is unhealthy. It's like a boxing match. You take punishment early on, but you end up winning the fight. Over the course of your career, you're gonna start losing fights, bruv. You're gonna start getting peppered, and one of these fights, early on, you might even get your jaw rocked, or you might get floored or whatever. It's not healthy. This 35 minutes against Southampton, week in, week out, he won't be healthy. And
Yeah.
Estrella made a good point, is you won't attach these things against City. Even though they got 1-0 down certain games, you will not attach that City go through bad periods. No, you won't attach it. You know, the odds against City, was it Villa, if I'm not mistaken, they were playing, right? The odds were still higher for City, even when they were freaking 1-0 down. Let that sink in. Newcastle.
Fans knew the question. Even on like a Saturday when we're watching United play or something and the game's done, yeah, and you go on BBC Sports for like live score updates, like Nottingham Forest or like a Burnley or Southampton, whatever, you can see City 1-0 down. I'm just thinking, oh, right, they pissed City off. I guarantee I'm expecting to see like a 4-1. I'll be very surprised if City lose. But if I see United 20-something minutes, 1-0 down, here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again. It's very two different.
And you know what? Can I just tell both of my nephews on this stream, Mr. Estrella, Planet Fast, I call this 7 months into the job. I said Erik ten Hag's football is not sustainable.
You did. And I said to you, calm down.
And
you did.
Right. I said I wanted him more than Poch because I already seen what Poch has done. If I could take that decision back, no other manager has catfished me more than this manager. Because all I said, Estrella and Planet Fast, I said, when he first comes in, the only thing I'm looking for from him is that Manchester United had their worst finish, which was 6, which was a miracle under Oli and Ranier, right? 6, worst position, goals or all of that. Really bad season, yeah? Listen, no, that's when...
I'm reading the live chats about Ange, about...
Listen, so I'll say this. So I'll say this, right? So the point that I genuinely want to make is saying that Erik ten Hag, I wanted him to come in. There was 0 expectations from him, 0 expectations of the football club. We were down in the dumps. The most important thing to us was his style of play. And I said to everybody, and I was arguing with Vas and I argued with everybody on X Twitter Spaces. I was like, I need him to come in and coach players. So even the shit players that we have, let him coach them and then to give us a bit of a style play, something to get behind. The same shit that we saw for Liverpool when Klopp stepped in, first time stepped in, right, Klopp, he left. To be fair to Klopp, what's his name, played good football. The guy who's Celtic manager now, Rodgers, right? But obviously they weren't listening to him. They went down. Liverpool were in a disarray, right? He came in, still didn't have a transfer, kept the same players. He came in mid-season, remember, and then he went and got on with it. But from the first 3 games of Klopp, you could see something to get behind, something to believe, something to back. After 7 months, I looked at him play. It was the most congested season in the history of world football. First time in the history of football where they had a World Cup in the winter. And I saw him, Charlton, Reading, teams that we played, right, at home, playing players to death, not just in the league, in Europa League games. And I said to Faz, I said to Saeed, and everybody who would listen, I said, this is unsustainable. These players are going to be burnt out, right? And I said, this football is unsustainable because he's come here and started talking about trophies. And I said, we wanted a coach to come in, right? That's what we thought about him, to come in and so we were on the floor. We were like babies, yeah? Newborn babies. We were going to crawl before we could even walk. Forget about sprinting. Erik ten Hag came in and said, I'm here for trophies. Burnt players right, left and centre. They come back from the World Cup. We won the Carabao Cup. Everybody got giddy and excited. And I told everybody and their man, this football is unsustainable. And it has been ever since. And the reason why I said I was wrong about this manager, I saw the triangles. I saw all that in Ajax teams in the Champions League. And I thought that's what I was getting. But he came out at the end of last season and said, I can't do that football.
Because he's realised the players don't have the minerals for it.
Well, at this moment in time, I've seen players, I've seen other managers come in where players have no minerals. I've never had minerals.
And you see style of football, right?
Yeah. And listen, and create minerals with absolute, I'm talking about players who played in a 3rd division only a couple of seasons before, right? Yeah. Or that. And I've seen that. Now, you can go into any argument. The biggest thing about any manager or any coach, if you're a training ground coach, you can develop a style of play. That don't mean that you're going to be successful, but you can have set ways of playing straight within. And I was generous. I said 6 months, right? I said 6 months.
6 months of 10 years of decay.
No. Listen, there are clubs, right? Let me say it to you, right? I see that the guy we're going to face tomorrow, right? The guy we're going to face tomorrow came in within, Baz will tell you, he's a very good coach, by the way, Klasner, right?
You can't compare it.
Yeah, Klasner, right? No, let me finish.
Okay.
Crystal Palace went nowhere. Absolute yo-yo football club. They would go down, they would come up, get relegated again, go battles, go, and then come back up again. And then they would sack a manager. They would try to play football with, remember, they had Frankie de Boer? They sacked him after 4 games. Frankie de Boer. They sacked him after 4 games. Then they went and got, like, I think Hodgson. Hodgson did what he did, right? Kept them there, made them defensively sound, give them a distinct way of playing, defensively, whatever, nick a goal on the break. Then they thought, we want to play football. So they got Vieira. Vieira came in first season, brilliant.
Did okay,
right? Did a job for them, right? Had a little bit. Players were not listening to him. The coaches and whatever, and people at the club didn't like Vieira, apparently, right? So Vieira was on the Gary Neville's podcast, The Overlap, and he spoke about his time there. Go and check it out, people, right? And then they went back to Roy, right? The fans are in a disarray. The guys are getting all of these things. Klasner comes in. Within 2 months, they have a distinct way of playing.
What I'm going to say to that in rebuttal, Nuruddin, is this. How many managers since post-Fergie have been able to implement their style of football, which we're all happy with and has been consistent?
No, I'm not.
Whoa! That's a double-edged sword question. That ain't fair. That ain't fair now. That ain't fair now.
I've got a question for you. No, I've got the answer for you. Now, your question, the last bit we need to take up, whether we were happy or not. I could close my eyes and know a Jose Mourinho team. I could close my eyes and know a Van Gaal team. Whether we like it or not, Van Gaal will have keep possession for keeping possession's sake. Jose Mourinho will do a low block and counter the hell out of. Now and again, he'll do a mid block, but he will do low block majority of the time. Now, I actually lost my hair, Jose, no word of a lie, because the football was that crap, right? I might not have been happy with, but if I closed my eyes and said, what is the style of Jose Mourinho? You knew a Jose Mourinho, right? Here's where I slightly bit aspect of it agree with you in aspect that you might be able to help your argument is that we saw the godfather of the Gegenpress. He comes in, right? And I always said it's never going to work because it's like getting a substitute teacher. I don't know in your school, but when in my school, when we had a substitute school teacher, I'm crunching up a paper. Bam! As soon as he turns to the bar to write his name, he's getting a lick of a newspaper or a pencil is flying in his head, right? That's what that school was, right? So the idea that Manchester United thought Ranieri can come in and enforce a style of play when all the players are looking at him going, what are you talking about, you dickhead? You're gone. And the club made it aware that he's only here till the end of the season. So once you do that, then it's done. That manager has zero ability. But Van Gaal had a distinct way of playing. Jose had a distinct way of playing. It might not be to my liking or your liking. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it was just vibes. Let's be honest with you.
I was about to say,
we would go on amazing runs and then we would go on amazing downs. That's what it was. He didn't have he was just like, lads, get out there, play football. That's what it was. It was a Moments FC. But the two managers who had the styles of play and every club where they've been, Van Gaal, you know a Louis Van Gaal team, you like a Jose Mourinho team. They had a styles of play. We didn't like it, Estrella, but they had styles of play.
Let me just chip in as well to Estrella's question. The name that I'm going to mention is going to shock a lot of people, but it's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. His football, that counter-attacking United DNA, Everybody got up from their sofas because back then we weren't allowed in the stadium. We were going crazy. The goals that front line scored was silly. Coming second in the Premier League. Revisionism is not good, but sometimes you must revise. Sometimes you must reflect. Second in the Premier League. Come on, man.
But secondly, let's not brush over that. Second in the Premier League by how many points variation? Let's not do that.
Man.
Secondly,
man.
let's not do revisionism.
Arsenal still second, my brother. Look at how Arsenal finished last season.
What you're doing right now is diabolical. This should even be allowed by.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's goals was silly, bro. As a football consumer, you enjoyed the goals.
Let me quickly finish my point on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah. By the way, Vaz, let me just come in, Estrella, quickly. What he proved to me, all our players are shitbags. You know that lockdown season? Because he showed me in an empty stadium, they can actually play. With crowd, they all shit their pants. But
let Estrella, yeah, go on.
My main point is this: is like for me, growing up, I'm obviously I'm in my late 20s. I grew up on Fergie, innit? I don't know what this style of play you're talking about, counter-attacking. I didn't see that. What I saw, my style of play with Fergie was we're turning up at any ground, and it's not we're going to play them off the pitch. We run them off the pitch, and then we deserve to play. And then we play full to the 90 minutes, well into the Fergie time. And if we haven't got a goal by then, we're going for a goal until we hear that final whistle. That's the original United.
But Fergie also had physicality. He injected physicality into his team. His team back then, when he originally created the 4-4-2 and rejuvenated the league and brought that into the league, and everybody went crazy with the two strikers. But other than that, the counter-attacking, the running at defenders, the crossing into the box, you know, the box standard, you know, as you say in grassroots football, that's what they tried to, recreate that Ferguson football, and it worked that time of the league. It worked,
If we did that now with the players that we had, if they had the right ethos, then I think that would work. But we don't have the players to do that. Like,
I'll just say this quickly, Estrella, right? Vaz, counter-attacking, it's not a style of play. Counter-attacking, it's a weapon in a game, in any given game.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Some of the best counter-attacking teams. Man City under Pep Guardiola, the counter-attacking inception, especially remember when you saw Sterling and Leroy Sané, some of their counter-attacking was crazy. So at the end of the day, what we'll say is that it's a tactic to be used in a game where you suck teams in because you give them the ball sometimes and then you counter them. And Fergie would make use of that because Fergie sometimes will think, these teams are sitting back, right? They just sat back, right? We give them the ball. We're going to retreat a little bit back because we've got better players. So when we win it, we've got players who are technically sound and we're going to find our wingers and going to find our attackers. But at the end of the day, we can argue with this all along. We can go on about this and that. I'm going to go because I've got to get up early tomorrow. I've got to go to a protest, so touch wood, I don't get arrested. But I've got to go to a protest shouting for the, people who are getting genocided. I'm going to go to Liverpool because it's the Labour Party conference. I might need a solicitor, Estrella, nephew Estrella, might be calling. But I'm just saying to you, I need to get up and I've got a long day and I'm going to hopefully come back for the watch along. But big up, quickly, what do you think your score's going to be, Fast and Estrella? What do you think the score's going to be?
2-0.
To United?
Yeah.
Wow, that's confident. Estrella, after all you said, that's very confident. Wow. That's really confident. I love that.
Put it into the air, man.
I love that. Bas, you're giddy army. Obviously.
Manchester United tomorrow are going to draw.
Woo! Wow. The first time I've ever heard him. Ever. This is the record, people. Anytime me and Bas have ever been on the stream and I've asked him the score, he's never said we're going to draw. This Arsenal, Liverpool, City, we've done all those. And he's never said, but little old Crystal Palace, Bas is telling me a draw.
We're going to draw. Just as much as people are saying they're having a bad season, these guys, they don't they don't let a game crash out, as in like they don't go 2-3 4-0 or 3-0 or whatever. They don't do that. They can control a game without having the ball, and those teams are not they're not actually as bad as you think they are. And you know, last season as well, you know, obviously last season is last season, whatever, it's gone, but in the last stretch of the last season, they went crazy. They went like how many games in a row straight win. I think they have that mentality. They just need to tap into it. And with Manchester United, we like to be made an example. I don't know if we've recovered from the last season beating from Palace. I don't know if we're going in revenge mode as well. I know the manager can panic. I know the players can panic. So based on all of those factors, I'm going to go with the draw, man. Definitely both teams are going to score. Definitely.
I think. Let me just give you my mind's prediction. I actually agree for the first time. It's a YouTube record, people. We actually agree. I think if they score first, I think they're going to come out and try to stick it on us. I think Jefferson Lerma's waiting for us. You know what I mean? He stuck it on us when he played for Norwich. Did he play for Norwich? No, Bournemouth a couple of times. And I expect them to go high tempo, high early, because they watched what Liverpool did and they watched what Southampton did in that first half hours, and they're willing to score. And I also know that under the lights against any of the big teams, they turn up. They genuinely do turn up. Crystal Palace are not a team that really turns up about teams in and around them. But when they play the bigger teams, all their players turn up, because obviously you understand, no name bigger than Manchester United, as we know. They turn up against Manchester United. And in the last 4 seasons, we've not won there. We've not. Last time we won, it was under Ollie, remember, Rashford and Martial scored, and Rashford did that. Actually, they combined in the box. It was a night game. It was like a 8 o'clock kickoff, and Rashford actually put it in the bottom corner. I think we beat them 2-1.
What about Matic volley?
No. That was the season before.
What?
That was the season before. That was the season after. It was Martial and Rashford. They combined in the box, and Rashford actually did a really nice finish into the bottom corner. And it was the game actually. Do you remember the Dutch fullback they used to have? He got injured in the move to that goal where Rashford put it in, because Martial fell on him. I think Martial or somebody fell on him and they landed on his leg. It was never the same. Van Hornell, whatever his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way,
he went to Turkey, no?
Listen, it's in Turkey somewhere, right? Right. In that season, in the responding fixture, they actually beat us at Old Trafford, and they went 1-0. We absolutely peppered them on the Ollie, peppered them, right? Their goalkeeper made save after save after save. Dan James scored, celebrated. You know, we don't celebrate equalizers.
Yeah, and then pulled him back. Yeah.
And then somebody called him back. And then we were peppering them, hemmed them in their own box. They broke away once in that half. Van Arnold scored the winner. 2-1, they beat us. That game, I clapped every player and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I was like, that's the right way to lose. We peppered their goalkeeper was man of the match. We peppered them, and they've just counter-attacked, and they did. And if they do that again tomorrow, if Manchester United team turns up, peppers them from minute 1 till the last minute, and they go break away and score, I'll be defending Eric Ten Hag and the players. So I think, considering everything that I'm thinking about, the Giddy FC, the hype of we scored 10 and all that BS, and the hype from the League One, you know, League One fodder, as I call it, I think we're going to come back down to earth tomorrow. I think their manager is looking at this game to look at. I need to pick up points, and he's had all this time to prep, even though they beat QPR and they play their first team. Because I've been on a stream today with Big Up Eagle-Eyed Football. I was on with them. They're saying actually their team has not been as cohesive this season, and some of the players that they've brought in have not. But I did see Nketiah, Natata, and Eze. Tomorrow, right? Eze, they could be trouble tomorrow.
Dallo, I've got eyes on Dallo. I think he's going to be our crucial player tomorrow.
Right. So even I actually think this is where Mazraoui is going to get the most tested in this game, because they've got Sarr as well to bring.
But it's not that. It's not that because Eze is going to go ahead against Mazraoui or those players, but it's because of how Dallo got caught out, and people are obviously going to question his defensive, mistakes. But I keep telling the people, look at where he's
This is what
making
I'm
the
saying.
mistakes.
All I'm saying to you is this.
Sorry?
If you're going to watch anything about the game before I go, look at S.A. Mitchell connection. That's all I'm saying. When the ball goes out left to S.A.'s feet, look what he does, how he dummies and waits for Mitchell to go on the outside to go and put that ball in. They have a couple of set plays with their fullbacks. Keep an eye on it. And we can come back and talk about it. But big up Estrella, nephew Estrella. Big up
Nuruddin.
nephew Vaz.
Big up Nuruddin.
Big up the chat. You're a disgrace.
What you got coming on, Nuruddin? Tell them what you got coming on as well.
Tomorrow we'll be doing a watch along, and then we'll be doing a match reaction sometime tomorrow night. And then Sunday I'm gonna have a show. If you two guys are free, happy to come jump on.
Yeah. What time on Sunday is your show?
It'll be quite late, around 10, something like that, right? But we're getting linked to players, and I wanted to break down, and I wanted to ask people, what do we think? Why are Man United linked to players still, even though the transfer window's closed and everything's closed? We're gonna break down the reasons why and educate some of the families. But love people, United Real Therapy. Swear is that there? 50?
Yeah, it's in the title. It's in the title already. So all you have to do is click on Nuruddin's on the title and just go to United Real Therapy. Make sure you subscribe to his channel, and we'll be live on Sunday. And I'll try and make time to come on your show on Sunday.
No problem, bro. If you can't, no problem. There'll be plenty more chances. But I'll say United Real Therapy. It's not for the faint-hearted. That channel, we speak right of our mind. We speak to the truth of what is going on, what we feel, and there, everybody's opinion is respected. But if you're part of the sheep, the toxics, the positive sexuals, and the brainwashed, this channel is not for you. I think 48 short of 11K, right? The channel was shadow banned because I talk about politics. It's a sports channel, and I talk about what's going on in the world. And for a lot, it's shadow banned, but I don't care. It was demonetized for a long time, but I don't care. There is come and speak your mind. If you like strong opinions and you like people to speak your mind, you know where I'm at. If not, stay away. If you like to be mollycoddled, if you like to be fed the Manchester United PR, I'm the wrong person. The therapy army is the wrong people for you. You're going to get eaten. But big up, Estrella. When are you doing a video, man? When you start going to do a TikTok, at least do TikTok about Manchester United. Start with that first. When are you going to do it? Because you're talking about the football. Why are you not doing it?
I'm building towards it.
No, building towards it. Start. You start. You don't know. And everybody knows.
I've just started my own company. So at the moment, I'm putting all my eggs into that. And obviously, I'm studying as well.
But you know what all it takes? If you're a young person that uses TikTok, do you watch videos on TikTok?
I'm not on socials. I don't use socials.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I forget. Fair enough. Fair play. Fair play to you. Okay. But TikTok is the best to start. If I was starting a YouTube channel now again, and if anybody wants to start on TikTok first because it's short and it's quicker, you build the following, then you start the YouTube. Big up Vaz. Big up Estrella. Big up everybody in the chat. And if you haven't liked the video, by the way, the likes helps the videos. The likes help. Nobody's asking you to do anything else. Love, light, and peace to you all. And I always say, F the Glazers. Jim the Rat is a rat because he let them stay. And the rest, arrivederci. Ciao, Bella. Never
be safe tomorrow. Be safe tomorrow.
Big up to you. If you shout me, if you ever want to come on, if you're ever available for some of the videos, let me know as well because I don't mind like peckering people, but I know that you're a busy man. But let me know, yeah. Big up, Estrella.
Big up, Nuruddin. Big up. Love for coming on. Big up to Estrella as well. Estrella, tell them about your business and where they can find you and stuff. Estrella's business page is in the bio as well, people.
Yep. Essentially, find me on Instagram, Estrella X Group. I've got a consultancy business, so if you're looking for funding or trying to lower down your corporation tax bill, if you're a business owner, hit me up. Or if you're looking for legal advice, also hit me up.
Yeah, big up to Estrella, man. Big up to Estrella. You can tell the man knows how to defend. He knows how to defend and he knows how to attack. So make sure you get in touch with him if you've got any business needs as such. Big up to you, bro, for coming on. It's been a big show, a long show.
Man. Very nice.
So I appreciate you coming on, and we'll do more of these as well. You know, now that we've done the first one, we've established the first one out the way. We'll definitely get more up. So I appreciate you, sir. Enjoy the rest of your evening, yeah, bro.
See you later.
All right, bro. Love. Take it easy. Take it easy. Right, people. That was a fiery show. That was a heated show. big characters, Nuruddin, Estrella. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have a misconception about Estrella that he's Ten Hag in or he's fancy in, but he's got fair points. He's got his method of wanting to see the team perform. He's got his reasonings behind why he wants to see certain things, how he wants to see certain things before he makes his mind up. He's very calculated and very observed, and that's perfectly fine. What's wrong with that? For me, my threshold is lower. I'm done with this manager. Kalas. I know there's big Ten Hag fans in the chat. Big up to you guys. I hope Manchester United win tomorrow. I know there are people that are excited about the 10 goals that used to be Ten Hag out. Maybe they're not Ten Hag out anymore. They're Ten Hag in. Big up to you guys. And there are still people who are Ten Hag done out. Yeah, not Ten Hag out. Ten Hag done out. We're sick of him. Tomorrow, if we draw, it's long day. If we lose, it's longer day. And if we win, God is good. Do you know what I'm saying? God is good. So some big games, man. 15 games I need, man. 15 games I gave him. He's already failed in 2 of them. So let's see how many more he can go out of the 15 games. I said by game week 15, I will know. Do you know what I'm saying? By game week 15, I will know. And he's already had 2 big fixtures in that 15. Then there will be a couple more as well. We will be there and we will see. Big up to Raphael, who says, let's see, man. Let's see indeed. Everybody's fingers crossed. And the fact you're Manchester United and you've got your fingers crossed for a game is a madness in itself. And this is one of the reasons why I keep telling people that, I'm basically done with the manager. I don't want him in this club anymore, and blah blah blah, and yada yada yada. So I don't know. I'm thinking about going to Said's stream tomorrow to go and do the watch along with him. My head might get hot. My head might not get hot. It all depends on how quickly we get the goal, really and truly, and it all depends on how the game pans out. Please, after this video ends, I request you guys to kindly drop a comment in the video. It just takes 1 minute of your time, if that. There's so many of you tuned in. I sincerely appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you are enjoying the videos, do subscribe so you can see more content. If you are not enjoying the shows, let me know what I can do different. It's not always about like the video, subscribe, like the video, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? There might be things you want me to do. Do you want me to do some more different types of content, gaming, GTA, real life therapy, chat, I don't know, advice? What kind of content do you want to see? So if you're not always enjoying football, if you want to see something else, comment down below. And your comment might end up being a show on this channel, so it will be done by you. I appreciate each and all of you. First, invite Marcel, do a 1v1. Marcel, what can I say? Brother Marcel, like I call him. Brother Marcel, like the pimp named Slickback, Coley FC says YouTubers ain't real fans, and that's facts, says Coley FC. I don't want to get triggered. Yeah. But you're a pussywall. I'll tell you straight. And I hope that one day you can come and see me face to face and then tell that to my face that I'm not a real fan. Maddest thing, I've been supporting this club, for that long. I don't even know some of the scarves I've collected over the course of the years. Scarves, executive scarves, tickets. Do you know what I'm saying? And I bet part of me, I don't know why, but I already feel like you're part of that viewership. You're part of that weird viewership. Yeah? You're part of that cult, fake viewership. hunky dory viewership. How are we not? How am I not a real fan? The fact that you've said that, yeah, you must be, you know, more than Ten Hag. You must be concussed. And Coley, yeah, I hope this is your real name as well. Big up to you if this is your real name, yeah. Hit the like if you haven't, yeah. I think you lack some sense, and maybe you're even underage. I don't know, bro. So I don't know, man. Nowadays, you don't know, bro. You don't know who's what before I say something mad. Before I say something, I don't even know if you're a boy or girl, or they, them, or it, or I don't know if you're a table or an apple, bro, at this point. I don't know. I am you know what the thing is, my viewership know innit, if I'm a real fan or not. Big up to the viewers. Live already scheduled for Tuesday. 4.5 hours before kickoff, I will be live at Old Trafford. 2 hours after kickoff, I will be live at Old Trafford. Yeah, I'll be live. The whole point that I want to bring is to give each and every viewer here that lives far away from Manchester and cannot come to a game the same experience as I have every single home game. Not just one, every single home game. So I'll be live, you know, giving you the full experience, player entrance, player exit. And then I'll be going over to the likes of, you know, Saeed and whoever's in the stadium, Nurdin, you know, Ash, who else is in the stadium? Whoever's in the stadium, I'll be bringing live everything raw, uncut, and pure. Do you know what I'm saying? Pure to the fans in India, South Africa, America, you know, Indonesia, all across the world. Some of you, majority of you, will never ever have a chance to come to Old Trafford, and I really feel for you because I know how I used to feel when I couldn't go to Old Trafford. So Coley says going to Old Trafford doesn't make you a real fan. What does then? Tell me, sir. The thing is, come onto the stream actually. If you want a challenge, come onto the stream. What makes you a real fan? Have you got a tattoo of Manchester United on your calf? Is that why? Is it because you have a Manchester accent? What is it? What is it? Are you willing to show your face? Because a lot of you guys don't want to show face. Do you know what I'm saying? Are you part of some army? What is it, bro? What makes a real fan? By the way, you know, wherever this book is, this Be a Fan Bible, send it to me so I can educate myself. So I can educate myself, innit? People like you are not the problem. Because real fans actually don't count you as important. They don't count you as important. You're too busy dictating who can support the team. And that's mad in itself. That is mad in itself, bro. That's like saying, yeah, you saw someone at a supermarket that you regularly go to. So let's say you regularly go to your local supermarket and then you see a customer there that you've not seen before and you go to that customer, why the fuck are you shopping here? You're coming here to get the discounts now. Why? Why? Do you know what I'm saying? Why are you shopping at my local superstore now that we've got discounts? Silly. Silly, man. It's silly. You want views and likes and subscribers. Fair enough. Fair enough. Because I'm trying to grow the channel so I can show more people Old Trafford. I can show more people player entrances. What's wrong with that? Okay, then, Cole. What about the Manchester United fans that are selling burgers and scarves, half and half scarves? Because I know your father or your uncle don't like half and half scarves. I know that for a fact. I am sure, yeah, your dad or your uncle does not like half and half scarves. So Gary, who is outside Old Trafford selling half and half scarves, making cash in hand, untaxable, untaxable. Ah, Cole, huh? They're fans. Untaxable income for the past 20 years selling half and half scarves and burgers. They're fans. Come on now, what we doing here? What we doing here? You're nobody to say who is a fan and who isn't. Yeah. And like Lee Gunner would call you, you're a mutant. You're a mutant. Because when I'm in Stretford End, which is my season ticket, yeah, or when I'm going to Europe, traveling Europe, ain't nobody saying shit to me. Ain't nobody saying shit to me. Big up to Skex, man. My DJ Skex, the one and only Manchester's finest DJ, is in the chat. Big up to DJ Skex, man. That's my DJ. If you're ever in Manchester and you need a night out, this is your guy, DJ Skex. You contact this guy. Yeah. And if DJ Skex is not playing, then I'm not going. Do you know what I'm saying? Then I'm not going. Wow, you go to games, who cares? I mean, at this point, Cole, I don't know what you're saying, bro. I think you're just upset that I'm showing my face on YouTube channel and I'm prettier than you. I think you're lacking some masculinity, bro. I can't lie. As a man looking at another man and criticizing the fact that he's building something, I think your parents failed you one way or another. And I think your parents might be very good people, but it is a shame that chapter manhood and brotherhood is where they lacked. Because that is something that we don't do on this side. What we don't do, but they do that on that side, though. By the way, they do that on that side, and you lot know, the viewers know what side I'm on about. Yeah, my community know what side I'm on about because I've been on that side. I've been on that side. It's not personal. It's okay. What my parents taught me is when you see another man trying and doing the best, and no matter what, he's trying to change his life or doing better, you support that man. That is called being a good human being. Yeah. That is called uplifting each other. Living in a bit of hate. And this is not personal, Cole. You know, I'm trying to educate you. That's what we do on this side. Yeah. When you come over to this side, you're welcome. And you're not going to be banned and you're not going to be timed out and whatever, but you're going to be educated because education is key. Education is key, brother. My mom and dad didn't teach me everything. Some things I learned from other men, some things I learned from other women, and that's okay. So I'm teaching you this. When you see another person doing better than you want to be their friend. Yeah? You want to be their friend. You want to be their friend and you want to support them. You want to learn from them. You want to seek advice from them. You want to look up to them. You want to make them your mentor. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you came into my channel and started dictating whether or not my characteristics define being a Manchester United fan or not. So you came onto this side and you're probably part of that side. And on that side, you will be isolated. You will be taught not to like certain other people. You will be taught not to listen to certain other people. Blah, blah, blah. You are your own person. You are your own individual. And you should know how to support people no matter what. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's okay. You'll learn, bro. You'll learn. Because at some point of your life, you will be on the receiving end as well. Do you get me? That's what it is, bro. That's what it is. Always be open. Always be open, brother. I'm not the type to disallow people of education. So this is your piece of education today. I don't know, man, what it is, what life you live, what privileges you have or you don't have. But I wish you all the best, my friend. I do. Maybe one day we can talk face to face, and I'll show you the same energy. Don't worry. Don't worry. My chat as well. By the way, I don't know if TTM or other people were there. I met someone from Chicago, man, at Old Trafford. Remember player entrances last game against Barnsley? Do you know what I'm saying? And by the way, Cole, if you're lonely in your life and you come to this channel to seek some form of company, you're welcome. Big up the Birmingham Massive, Lucky Singh. Lucky Singh he's been in my channel for 3 years now, maybe. Lucky Singh. Big you up, man. Yeah, big up, big up. Big up Alan as well. Bournemouth. He lives near Bournemouth. Big Man United fan. When at some point when we play Bournemouth away, I'll go and watch it and watch the game with him, have a drink with him. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. That is what it's about. Big up to Dan, one of my members for 3 years on this channel. I've been to Nando's with him, watched the game with him. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that bro traveled from Chicago. This is it, Cole. It is always love, bro. It is always love. You're welcome on the show to give your opinion on Manchester United, whether you agree or disagree, whether you think you can correct me and make me think some type of way, give me a different perspective. You're welcome. You will not be silenced because I do not charge agents to talk about players. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't send invoices to Fabrizio Romano. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? I don't. Big up to the agents that follow me. Yeah, big you guys up, man. I know why you lot followed me in the first place. Because I was on that side. But now I'm on this side. Yeah. Big up to them players that speak to me. Big up to the people that still speak to me. Just a fan. Just a fan. But yeah, it was a good show, man. It was a good show. And you know what? One thing I take pride in. You know one thing I take pride in? How big Manchester United fan base actually is. If you deep it, bro. Imagine we go to pre-season in India. Oh my God. Silly. That would be silly because those sides of the world never get to see Manchester United live. And imagine Manchester United went to those sides. I know Manchester United had been to the Asian sides before, you know, not last season, but the season before and stuff. You know, they've been to the Australia sides and stuff. But in India, Manchester United, oh my God. Well, America, because, you know, American owners, America has the second most, you know, in terms of growth, where they want to grow football. I think they would. I know there's not much, you know, high standard football stadiums, but I don't really know. I don't really know, but I'm sure they'll put something in place if Manchester United were coming. I'm sure. And you know, America is a nice place to visit as well. Good weather, good thingy. I mean, cricket is their staple sport, their main sport. Yeah, cricket. Those Asian sides, some of those Asian sides, cricket is. But it's like, where did Man City go, chat, for their preseason? Was it Japan, if I'm not mistaken? Is it Japan? And they pay a lot of money to watch the Prem clubs as well. Yeah, you're right, bro. You're right. American culture doesn't fit with football, in my opinion. Ah, this is a very good comment. This is a very good comment, man. This is a very good comment that I've thought of for a long time. Wow, I can't believe you brought this up. So hear this now. I watch it, and I watch a bit of NFL here and there, and I watch a bit of. No, I actually tell a lie. I don't watch NBA, but I watch a lot of American reality shows. Not like this guy dated that girl or whatever. No, but like cooking shows and travel shows and stuff like that. America is just by nature, the American culture doesn't suit football, and I 100% stand on it until someone can educate me. Flames during game, do that at Old Trafford, game locked off. I remember one particular game, Manchester United women were playing Everton, or I don't know, Aston Villa or something, at Old Trafford, and there were flames at the players' tunnel when the Manchester United ladies were coming out. The women's team was coming out, and I went to watch that game. I'm up, I go to watch the women's team, Cole. And I made a clip and I put it on Twitter saying, the Flames, I actually enjoyed it. It was nice. There was good music. They had a live band as well. Good atmosphere, man. The amount of cooking that I got for that video. The top reds, quote unquote, or they look like top reds, come across like top reds. They said, keep their shit away from the football. We don't want this in football. We don't want it. Fucking get this shit off the telly now. Do you know what I'm saying? In America, they have freaking fire extinguishers as like or smoke that come out when NFL players are coming out. They have lit music, this, that, the other. And I've seen Old Trafford try that. They've been playing some music. In America, they have halftime shows. They have cheerleaders, shaking it. I don't think Cole, Red Army, Stretford End wants to see Lucy, Jane, Rebecca, whatever, shaking it at halftime when your team is 1-0 down against Palace. I can't lie, bro. I can't lie. I don't know if that's what you want to see, but each to their own. I don't think that's what Manchester United fans or football fans, do you know what I'm saying? Carefree Chelsea, them lot, rappers. Imagine Stormzy coming out at halftime, mate, with Rebecca and the sisters shaking it. There's not going to be, so American culture, you know what I'm saying? Even just some parts of European culture in football, where, if I'm not mistaken, in Germany, you're allowed to take your beer into the stadium, like into your seats. We're still not even in the UK. We don't do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Imagine Stormzy going, you're getting way too big for your boots. And Eric Ten Hag is going to Bruno Fernandes, yo, huh? And you just hear Eric Ten Hag in the back going, you're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. Bro, what? What? In NFL, players sometimes come out with jewelry. What? And you have confetti and stuff like that. Cheerleaders, bands, trumpets. We don't even announce the goals like they do in like, let's say, Turkish leagues. What? In Turkish league, they freaking announce the goals and they say, they'll go like, Marcus Rashford. And the crowd goes, Rashford. Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford. That's how it goes. Imagine they did that with Luke Shaw. Do you know what I'm saying? So American culture and football culture is millions of miles, light years apart, man. Light years apart, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't trying to get triple XL hot dog and 5 liters of Coca-Cola. Do you know what I'm saying? What about Kiss Cam? Imagine kiss cam, yeah? So you've gone to Old Trafford with your missus, with your date, with your side chick, and then kiss cam, the camera pans on you. As it is, football people are going like this. You and I, TD, United are the team for me. Why don't say fuck off home? Do you know what I'm saying? We've seen it all. We won the lot. We're Man United and we're never gone. And then the kiss cam pans on you, and then you have to go, ole, mwah, ole, mwah. You have to start kissing your missus on that. Imagine getting rejected from your missus or your date from the kiss cam, and then fucking Bruno Fernandes gives away the ball, bro. Or Garnacho has a bad touch. Or Rashford runs into, a player. What? Get out of here. Man saying, get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. Trying to kiss me. It won't be the girl rejecting the guy. It'll be guys rejecting the girls, bro. That's what it'll be. That's what it will be. Do you get me? Saw you following some French Instagram account. Which Instagram account do I follow, bro? Please, man. Has my Instagram been hacked? Cause I'm funnily enough, yeah. I'm on Instagram right now, bro. I'm on Instagram right now, bro. And what's going on? Ocho Cinco. David Alaba and Grace Wales Bona launch. What? David Alaba and Grace Wales Bona. What? Bona? David Alaba, Bona, Grace Wales. What is going on here? Hold on. Can I bring this up? The hell is going on here, man? David Alaba, Grace Wales, Bona. Crazy. David moving crazy, bro. David Alaba moving crazy, bro. Wales, Bona, and David. Oh, that's the name. Grace Wales. Oh, okay. God damn it. I messed it up. Sorry, chat. Rising ballers. Max Dowman starts for Arsenal under 19 today in UEFA Youth League. He becomes the second youngest ever player in the competition and the club's history. Competition, the club's youngest player in it. He joins, sorry, not in history. He becomes the second player in the competition and the club's youngest player in it. He joins the likes of Mukoko, Shola Shorata, and Evan Ferguson to feature in the UEFA Youth League at 14. Wow. 14. Shola. Big up Shola, man. Victor Boniface, from paying 30 naira to watch Champions League football to playing my first Champions League game. Proud of this moment. This guy's sick, man. Boniface, I love this guy, man. I love this guy, man. Boniface, man. What a story, this guy, man. What a story. What a player. What a top guy. Just vibes, good vibes, real, raw, honest. Keeps, talks about his emotions. I like him, man. I like him. I like him a lot. We could not have done the first years of my tenure in our time here without Raheem. I would prefer he didn't play well on Sunday, but I wish him all the best. Pep, man, he knows how to gaslight, man. He knows how to gaslight, man. Big up Pep. Do you think Pep means what he says about Sterling? I think so. I think so. Well, if I said it, they wouldn't listen. If Pep says it, they listen. Man, what the hell? Riri with Juve, the Juventus shirt. I've got this shirt actually. Rihanna. Oh, jeez, man. What is going on here, bro? Who the hell? What is going on here? What the hell is going on here? These man are lips in Riri, you know? Bro. ASAP Rocky and Riri are together, innit? Imagine you see a picture of your girl like this with footballers before. It's a madness, that. It's a madness. It's a madness for me. I can't lie. Damn. Rihanna, man. Damn. Rihanna moving crazy, bro. Damn. Rihanna moving crazy, bro. Jack Grealish. Rihanna moving crazy with the footballers, man. Jesus! Benzi! Chat, what is going on? This is a madness. This is a sickness. Rihanna got no top on, bruv. With big body bends. Jeez, man. Benzi. Wait. I never knew this. Benzi and Riri. Je m'appelle. Damn. Crazy. Ola, Aina, and Trevor Chalaba have invested in sustainable boot brand Sokito. This boot contains corn waste, castor beans, wood fiber, sugarcane, bamboo, and recycled plastic bottles. Looks clean. Might try it out. Looks clean though. The £1.1 million investment is set to support the UK-based brand's international expansion after the previewing of Sudeta boots during AFCON. Climate change in football boots. Interesting. It all depends how it feels, innit? Georgina Rodriguez reportedly earns 10 million per season from her Netflix documentary. Wow. That's Ronaldo's girl, innit? Rising ballers. Lionel Messi really came to Romford and played against West Ham under 23s back in 2014. Damn. Messi came to Romford, you know. That's crazy. Cristiano, big win. Al Nasser. Big up Savannah Marshall. Big up Exeter City. Crystal Palace. Big up Manchester United, man. Training pictures. Linda is there. Linda, big up Linda, man. Big up Linda, man. Big up my Whoosh General. If you know, you know. The Whoosh General. But anyways, big up to everyone for tuning in. Score prediction down below once this video ends. And we are going to redirect to League on a Stream. Yeah, make sure when you get to League on a Stream, comment Faz Raid. Yeah, big up to people. Faz Raid in League on a Stream now. Peace, love, and guidance. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Love you all, man.